Your knowledge and skills with these easy to follow jewellery making demonstrations. Whether you're a beginner, hobbyist or business owner, there's always something new to learn. It couldn't be easier. Simply click and learn some new jewellery making techniques.
You can now watch clips from Jewellery Maker on our YouTube channel. Get interactive with Jewellery Maker.
When shopping with Jewellery Maker, you can add as many items to your order in one day and only pay one postage and packaging charge. We have two delivery options. Standard delivery at just £2.95 and you'll receive your parcel within 4 to 6 days. Or opt for our premium delivery at just £4.95 and you'll receive your parcel within 3 to 4 days. Happy shopping with Jewellery Maker.
Join guest designer Debbie Bulford for this exciting polymer clay accessories DVD. Debbie will guide you through a variety of projects, including pen tops, charms, badges, buttons, and how to create the animal print look. This DVD is ideal for all levels and great to have some fun with the kids. To get your hands on a copy, contact our call centre. Get creative with Jewellery Maker.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Jewellery Maker. This is your designer inspiration show, and my name is Rebecca Redican. I can tell you something for sure. I am so excited about today, truly, for a number of reasons. Number one, I know the prices of our kits today, which is just astonishing. Two, I have got a whole showcase of opal for you, and genuinely I've got some opal around the £40 mark, but I've also got some around the £8 mark, so something for every pocket today. Not only that, but I am finally joined by the absolute legend, let's face it, of jewellery making world. She is just so wonderful, ridiculously talented. All afternoon until 5 o'clock, I am joined by the wonderful, the exceptional Rachel Norris.
Hello,
Hi,
Becky.
How are you?
I'm absolutely fine. Travelled up from Cornwall this morning, and it was such lovely sunshine and really lovely group of ladies in the workshop today. I had a lovely morning with them, and looking forward to spending the afternoon with you now.
Oh,
First time, isn't it?
I know, I'm excited. I can't wait. We met on the birthday show. We've not worked together before. Can you give us a little bit of a cluesy as what to expect from your first designer inspiration? Just a little cluey clue.
The cluey clue is it's perfectly like a little cat. It's actually a little cat brooch. That's the biggest clue, actually.
Love that! Rachel, that's amazing. I'll give you a little clue. It's a cat brooch.
Mine went black. I had all the jokes ready and everything. Oh dear. Oh well, there it is. It's going to be a little cat brooch. We're going to work through how to make it from top to bottom, fixing on the little clasp at the back. And we're going to go through making one of those.
Is that? I cannot wait. That's our first designer inspiration. It is absolutely beautiful.
And I've got even fewer jokes for the second one.
Fewer? We're going to have that first designer inspiration coming up for you really shortly, probably around 25 minutes. Then after that, I'm going to have my opal showcase, and then we're going to be going to the second designer inspiration, which is so floral, beautifully formed.
Yes.
It's stunning.
It's something I wanted to carry on with, because we're going to bring edition 1 of the Beauty of Nature back on for people who haven't got it.
Yep.
I wanted to carry on that theme to actually develop some of the techniques in there to make a piece with a completely different flower within it. So I just hope you'll enjoy it. We're going to make the central piece of the necklace. So we'll be going through that today.
I cannot wait. Genuinely, when you get to see the second design, you're just going to absolutely fall in love. I've got so many treats for you today. Let's get started. In fact, let's get started with you. This is your show. It's Sunday. It's your time to get involved with us today. Send us in some texts all you have to do is text us. Your text number is 60777. Start your text with the word JM Studio. Alternatively, you can go on jewellerymaker.com. There's a little box that says send a message to the studio. Get in touch with us that way if you wish. Any questions you might have for the wonderful Rachel Norris, do get in touch. Maybe you absolutely adore her designs and you want to let her know how amazing she is, do get in touch. Maybe you've been trying and trying and trying to complete something you've not been able to. You need a few helps and hints. I've got your lady here. Do text us in, get in touch with us today. Right, where are we starting? Lovely producer Helena. On my left, it's one of our challenge strands. Oh my goodness, I've just remembered. Did you miss out on those Wirework pearls this morning, the Wirework pearls? They sold out, didn't they? I've got more for you. It's not the exact same strand, it's not, but I've got more from you. And what I will say is, yesterday, morning show, when they had the Wirework pearls on, £14.95. Mine aren't that price. Mine are lower for you today. So stay tuned, because they will be with you really soon, really soon. Let me show you our first challenge strand, though, speaking of pearls. These are beautiful. These are your cream cultured potato pearls. Now we say they're potato, but they're only just, aren't they? 7 by 6 mil on these. These are really quite ageless and timeless, and this is one of the challenge strands that we're going to give to the wonderful Rachel Norris. Now, Rachel, we asked you before if you've got any ideas what you fancy, and you sort of said, well, no, not really, but if there's pearls, I like pearls.
Yes.
Why was it pearls? You were happy to have absolutely anything, but then pearls, oh yes, please.
I've been wanting to work with pearls on a challenge for ages.
Yeah.
And I had some roses that I made up. I wanted to incorporate them into a piece with some pearls.
Yeah.
So I've just made some roses.
Yes.
And on the beach yesterday, I made up a little backing, which I haven't finished yet, but I'm going to try and incorporate this as a pendant with a backing like that, and incorporate these lovely gemstones in, because I think they'll suit it.
Wonderful.
Really well. So
and pearls are kind of ageless and timeless, and they're huge this year, aren't they? Why do you love pearls? Is it a relatively new passion? Is it always been a love?
I think it's something that we've grown up with. We've seen them in the movies from the 50s. They are timeless. Princesses wear them, and they're handed down. I've got some pearls from my grandmother and great grandmother.
Oh wow!
I've kept. So you keep them and you value them.
You are completely right. I totally agree with you there. They are. It's something for every age, every generation, and it is a lot of the time one of those things that's passed down, isn't it? You're not going to believe the price of these. They are absolutely stunning. They are completely exquisite. We're going to see exactly what the lovely Rachel does with them later. Your price today is just £11.95. This is the length for an entire necklace. This is with it touching at the back of my neck. That for me is the perfect length. That for me is exactly what I'm looking for. And actually, bearing in mind you're probably, probably a metre or so away from me now, they look like perfect rounds, don't they? They're not. They're a mil off. That's it. 7 by 6 mil. I absolutely adore everything about these, and so do you. Well done, everyone who's coming in on this really, really quick on the phones today. We know it's going to be busy. It's been an absolutely epic morning. We've got the wonderful Rachel Norris with us today. Of course, it's going to be a busy day. It's Sunday as well, isn't it? Get your hands on these whilst you can. I'm happy to tell you that I have got, I've got 99 of these at the moment, so that's a plentiful number. However, they are going really, really quickly. It's imperative you're checking out your baskets for me. WLPO01 is the code. They're £11.95. Moving on, okay folks, got loads to fit in. This is another one of the strands we're giving to the ever so wonderful Rachel Norris. Have you had the photo through for this yet, Ben? No, I think that's what Ryan's sorting out now. Hopefully I'll be able to show you a photo of this a little bit later on. Essentially, what you're going to look at now is nothing like what you're actually going to see in the flesh. This beautiful strand itself, it's got the opalescent, it's got the opalescent body of colour. I've got something coming up for you a little bit which has I've been in to ask the ladies. I've got something coming up for you in a little bit, which has been described as, I asked them all to do 3 words, and one of them, I'll just give you one. I've got a technical dream strand coming up for you in a little bit. And that's the one with all the pinheads. Now this one is the opalescent, so it's not as many of the spots, you've still got those, but it's the whole body of colour. Now this is your Ethiopian, so you already know it's going to be stunning. Just remember, what you see on the screen now isn't actually what you'll be getting. You're getting so much more. I almost can't describe. 25 carats, Ethiopian opal. Honestly, when you see this in the flesh, it's got so much more opalescence to it. At the moment now, that body of colour, it's pretty, don't get me wrong, it's nice, but it is astonishing to the eye, it truly is. In fact, Rachel, you've seen these without the studio lights, haven't you? Did you see them in the hall earlier on?
Yes, I did, and they're also sitting alongside the pearls, so they're bouncing off each other. The light is bouncing off each other. They're absolutely, they're really, really beautiful gemstones. And with a 3rd strand, oh my goodness, it's an absolute dream to work with, actually.
Oh, I'm
beautiful.
glad. I'm absolutely glad. Oh, actually, have you got that picture of it? Fab. I took a picture of these outside. Now, purely... No, it's not that one, love. Does that look like what I've got on my hands? Oh, that's hilarious. Helena just went, oh, that's my man hand. You haven't got man hand. I've taken a picture of this, which we might be able to find for you in a moment. It's the faceted rondelles of the Ethiopian. That, however, is a little sneaky peek of the nuggets I've got coming up for you in a little bit. So this is Boy Y43. It's a gorgeous strand. Get your hands on it today. It's some of the highest of qualities. It truly, truly is. Your price today, just £34.95 for you. I will try and get that photograph because, yeah, that's it. This is the photograph. Now, please bear in mind for me, again, this is still going through 2 lenses because I took this on the phone of my camera, my camera phone, that's then going through your screen at home, so it is getting rid of some of that colour, but it gives you a much more clear view. You can see that opalescence, can't you? Almost that glowing. It almost looks glowy, doesn't it? That's what I'm talking about. There's not lots and lots of pinheads in this. There's some, but not lots. But there is a lot of interest in that body of colour. Every single one of them just sort of glowing and gleaming and glitzing away. Boy Y43. Now, I think we've actually had FIFO reviews on this strand. I know that they've all been very, very positive. I know it's definitely got a 5-star strand before. I know we've definitely got some on the website for this one. It is a really, really popular strand. It's just £34.95, and this is the one that the lovely Rachel Norris has chosen to be part of her challenge today. Congratulations to people who are coming in for this. 25 carats worth. It's your Ethiopian opal, so it is the location. It truly is. You're looking at this being taken from 2 meters into the crust of the earth, around a 50-meter drop down face for where you actually come into it. It's much, much further down than that, but people absolutely can abseil down onto this to actually try and get their hands on this gemstone because it is so exceptional. £34.95 for you today. Now, let's get the last one of the lovely Rachel's challenge strands in. We've given her 3 today. The graduation on this is exceptional. Personally, I think it's really nice to see graduation on a plain round strand, especially when it's this dynamic. Take a look at the difference in sizes here. From 14mm to 6mm. This is a real variation on that Amazonite, isn't it? It's a lengthy strand as well, let me point out to you. Amazonite is beautiful selection of really delicate, gentle, relaxing tones. And I was totally sure where the name comes from. It could be named after the Amazonian River, which seems like a bit of a stretch because it's never been found too close to the river itself. However, I do understand it with some of the tones running through here. but it has also been found at burial sites of Amazonian women, strewn in this with their armour and inlaid into their weaponry. And they believe that it's because in the Amazonian warrior women time, they believed it would give them strength. Female strength purely. It didn't work as well for the men, but they believed if they adorned themselves in it, it would give them courage, it would give them strength when going into battle. And again, I can understand why that could be it, because it's a very strong gemstone, isn't it? It is bold. You've got 170 carats worth here. I've already got loads of you coming in for it. You're going to love the price. It's yours today for a tiny £6.95 for this amount. £6.95. These aren't itty ditty either. 6 mil is your smallest size, and even that's not teeny tiny. But then look at this huge one in the middle. Look at that. Imagine that. Pair of earrings you could do easy peasy with these ones here. Do yourself a ring, even a cluster ring actually with these would be absolutely stunning, wouldn't it? And why do you like this strand so much, Rachel?
Amazonite is one of my favourite gemstones anyway, actually. So it's an absolute dream. And Amazonite and pearls, it's a beautiful combination. They go always really well together.
You're absolutely
with
right.
The glitz and the kind of the sheen and the rainbows coming from the other one, the third strand.
Yeah.
You couldn't beat the combination. It's absolutely beautiful.
It is stunning, isn't it?
And I've combined Amazonite and pearls in the past, and they work very, very well together.
They are a beautiful little collection. So what I'm showing you here now is Rachel's challenge. 3 strands individually for you today. £6.95 is your price point on that Amazonite today. It is a beautiful gemstone strand. KLGP21. Make sure you're getting yourselves on checking out that baskets, because I'm sorry to say I have got a little bit of a queue currently at this moment in time on the phone. But I promise we will be with you as soon as we can. I've got some druzy coming up for you in a little bit. I'll just show you that now. Oh no, sorry. Oh no, that's accidental. That's not the druzy. Oh, I'm going on for you in a little bit. Eleanor just went, stop it, I don't want to see that, you tease. Sorry. Is this the pink druzy? Gorgeous. This is actually your druzy. That, however, are the BY pearls that are coming to you shortly. Now, druzy is, for me, a really beautiful, seductively sparkly gemstone. It truly is. I love everything about it. I love the variation. I love the colours that we do here for you. I love the workable sizes that we do here for you as well, especially on a strand like this. I adore how every single one of them has the symmetry to it in the sense of shape and size, but then every single one is completely unique with this individual crystal structure. If you haven't seen druzy before, take a good look. I'll just show you one. Can you see all of these individual sparkles? Now, they're not facets, which you might be used to seeing on a lot of gemstones. These are all individual crystal heads, and it's purely due to Mother Nature. It's due to the way of the liquid essentially coming into a porous rock, and then it gets so cold internally within this rock that the crystals themselves don't have time to form properly. So normally when we think of crystals, they'll form in a very linear manner, won't they? And that's what builds up a gemstone. So they might be layered or structurally, depending on the gemstone, so they'll have different structures. But literally the liquid, the silica-based liquid will come into the porous rock, the host rock we call it, which is generally pretty hollow on the inside. It will sink into the porous rock, and then because, like when you go into a shaded area on a hot day and you're instantly so much colder, that's what happens, but intensified. And the crystals just don't have time to form. They're kind of just frozen in time in a sense, and that's why you get this beautiful, just this glittering like effect. It's so beautiful. A lot of the druzy that we've had on recently have been the rounds, which are lovely, and you see little areas within them, but they're quite chunky. We've also had druzy in the past where you just got 5 on a strand, don't we? And they're again quite chunky. If you want to get super sparkle in really delicate forms, then this is the one for you, because let's face it, who wouldn't love a druzy ring That for me is the perfect size. That's the type of thing that actually I would kind of show off a bit to my friends. You know, sometimes when if you've just made yourself something, especially a ring, and you just seem to kind of point more with that finger then. Oh, what, this gold thing? Like, you see people looking at your eye and you kind of scratch your eye in this way just to get, it's that type of thing for me, because it would be like, oh, that's nice. Oh, this old thing. Yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it? I love that about it. It's so interesting to the eye. I'm going to tell you the truth. I've only got just over 40 of these, so I need you to be quick in if you want it. Could be your last chance to purchase 60 carats worth of your pink druzy. The price today is a sparkling £14.95, and you're getting plenty on this strand. You truly are. And the fact of the matter is, oh my gosh, I've just found a really intense one. Look at that. Wow. That's another thing I absolutely adore about druzy. You get some that are, so this one next to it, it's still got the druzy, obviously, you can see that. Hang on. We get one where I could get my finger on. You've still got the druzy there. That's pretty sparkly, but then you get some, and it's again Mother Nature. It's purely because of the way that these crystals have cooled and the rate at which they have cooled. You've got a really beautiful variety of here of this kind of sugar coating effects, aren't they? Sugar plum fairy of the gem world, druzy, really, isn't it? £14.95 for your 10mm coins today. 60 carats worth of your pink druzy. Get it whilst you can, because it's going out quick. I'm going to do a little bundle for you now. And this bundle, I have to say, is packed full of elegance. This, to me, it's bridal, it's chic, it's boutique, it's ethereal, it's luxurious as well. The colour palette, the tones, the stones are spectacular. What I will say though, honestly, just remind me of my price point. I think I know what it is, but just remind me. Yep, I was right. What I will say is, I know the amount we've got is pretty decent, but I know at the price point we've got it at, these will not last for long at all. I'll tell you the truth, I'm going to be going under £20 for all of what I'm about to show you, which is exceptional. Take a look for me. You're going to be getting 10 meters worth of your 0.4 gold wire. This is your golden twisted wire. Let me just take off a little section for you if you haven't seen our twisted wire before. Look at that. It to me just looks like fairy chain. It's absolutely beautiful little delicate effect. And now this is the 0.4. Just for anyone who hasn't bought our twisted wire before, what we mean when we say 0.4 is it's 0.4 on top of 0.4. So essentially it's similar to working with a 0.8. So that's kind of the strength we're working with, which is wonderful actually, because another one of the really popular gauges of the twisted wire we do is the 1mm, but that's essentially like working with 2mm, which I know some people can struggle with. This one is essentially like working with an 8mm, so that could be a lot more doable for some of you out there if you have been struggling and you've been a bit worried to try the larger gauges. So you've got that with the gold, which is just oh so beautiful. Sticking on the golden theme, I have got, oh my gosh, this is delectable. This is absolutely delightful, to say the least. Look at the tone we have on this beautiful champagne quartz. 80 carats worth we have of these plain drops from 7 to 13mm. Now under these lights, that tone looks much more subtle. It has got a subtlety to it, but it has got this beautiful, very clear and defined champagne tone to it. It is absolutely exquisite, especially when you look at that clarity. You've got colour and you've got clarity on this strand. You can actually see that wire just bouncing behind it, can't you? Just powering through. It is an absolutely beautiful strand. This, just as a neckline piece to me, would be exceptional. Actually, even kind of as, you know, I love kind of a bit of a, this to me is so ethereal. That is completely ethereal. It is a little bit Grecian. It is a little bit kind of Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean? It's got that feel to it. Yes, I've seen Lord of the Rings. It's got that feel to it for me. The elves, the elven people, that's what it reminds me of. And then, oh yes, Orlando Bloom. Oh, don't, I'll be here all day. You've also got Ben's just fanning himself. You've also got your clear quartz with these corner drilled puffy squares. 10 mil on these. How exquisite to be able to work with a really unusual shape. The drill hole really is what's making these really stand out. I adore the fact that if you so wish to go for a little bit of a modern twist on maybe a very regal theme, then you absolutely could with this, because we all know that the studs are massively in at the moment, aren't they? And that, to me, just as a stretchy bracelet, even doubling it up and having these interlinking with themselves would look absolutely fab. You could do so much with these, couldn't you? You've got 130 carats worth of these, and they're your 10 mil. And then lastly, but by no means leastly, and this is possibly the thing that's going to shock you the most, because I'm telling you, all of this is going under £20. This is my final strand. Pearls. Genuine cultured pearls. Wow. Sticking with the champagne colour of that gorgeous quartz I brought to you in this kit. These are 7x5 to 8x6 mil, and let's face it, they are delectable, aren't they? They are absolutely delicious. The pearls are, as we've said, this season's big hitter. They are this year's, in fact, because it's set to continue. It's going to continue through all the way to December, at least the pearl trend. It's going to really just grab your eyes time and time again. Let's recap. Strand of beautiful pearls, cracking sizes on there. An exceptional strand again of the same similar colour palette with the champagne quartz. You've then got your corner drilled quartz here as well. Just work it. You see what I mean when I say ethereal, especially when you add in that wire. It's going to be under £20 today, which is going to be absolutely shocking to you. The price should be £22.80. Now, wait there a second on that price. I promise I'm going under 20. I promise. I've already got people coming in. Let me just show you these working together. Let your imagination go wild now. What would you do with these? Would you twist them? Would you do a pearl necklace just with a simple champagne drop and use the quartz for something else? Would you be looking at doing, oh my goodness, these on a bridal headband piece or a tiara band or a hair slide? It would be absolutely stunning. Are you thinking of doing these a little bit modern, a little bit funky? Because let's face it, you could really easily. You've got those square quartz in the corner drilled, which have almost got a little bit of an industrial look to them if you so, use them in that way. Or are you going to go really kind of old school? Are you going to go a little bit contemporary? Are you going to go a sort of 30s vibe, 50s vibe? You could do very easily with this. Are you going to go 2014 vibe with this? I'm going to drop the price under 20. I'm going to give you a heads up. I don't mean by 5p. Congratulations to everyone who have already purchased this, because you will all be paying the same price. Everyone pays one price today. You always know that. That's why we always try and give you a chance to get yourself in on the phone lines first. It's going under 20. It should have been nearly £23. Today it's £14.95. £14.95 for you today. You've got pearls, champagne quartz, huge quartz in the corner drills, and you've got 10 meters worth of your double twisted wire. Think about that. Yeah, you've got 10 meters of 0.4 here, but it's double twisted up, so you can actually take these apart and you could have 20 meters worth of 0.4 if you wanted, because I know how much you all love 0.4. Boy, oh boy, you're coming in for it now. Well done to everyone who sort of got through the queues and got in there straight away. If you do get in early as soon as you like something, if I promise you a price point, you know I can't obviously then say it's going to be higher. So if you do get the opportunity to get yourself in quick, then do it, because there are people stuck on the phone now, and you've gone off my screen already. When I say you've gone off my screen, that means I've had loads and loads and loads of you. We've got loads of names coming up on the screen and they literally fall off the bottom of my widescreen TV. That's literally what happens. I'm going to be honest with you, I've got 10 left. I told you I had plenty, but I told you at that price it was going to be a sellout. I've got 10 left and I've got about 15 in baskets. Well done to those 15 or so, 20 people maybe it was, who bought this before I even put that price on. You all saw even on the website it was £22.80 and people were checking out at that price. People were calling in when I said I promise it's going to be under 20 and I don't mean by 5p. They were calling in straight away. It's going to be a sellout probably in the next 10 seconds. Treat yourself to it now. I've got 6 left of this. Checking out your baskets because I've still got about 10, 11 in baskets. People on the phone who's going to get it. Phone bidders just come in, web bidders just come in, another web bidder. Congratulations, you've just got your hands on it. Telephone bidder, Jane, nice work. I've got tiny amounts left now. It is a sellout. Sorry, I did give you a heads up. I told you it would be pretty awesome. Now, it is time for our designer inspiration. Is that time already? Time flies when you're selling quacking stuff, doesn't it? I am joined by the lovely, lovely Rachel. Now, Rachel, talk to us a little bit about your inspiration behind this piece and the kit itself.
I've been wanting, I made a little cat brooch about a year or 2 ago, and I'd wanted to bring it on to Designer Inspiration Show, but we hadn't got the time slot for it yet, and I've been wanting to do this for a while. And then I just also wanted to incorporate a cabochon into it. So I just wanted to I've wanted to do a little cat brooch for a long time, actually.
And I'm so glad you have.
It to the show, and we thought that mixtures of coppers and blacks with the tiger's eye might be quite a good combination.
It is a really
for
beautiful
the show,
combo.
and I tried to make some delicate pieces. Highlighting the tiny little black stones along with the copper and the different gauges of the copper, and we're using 0.25 and 0.4s.
That's exactly what I was just looking at. You've got a real good variety,
yes,
haven't you?
Yes.
And why was that important for you with these designs?
Because again, the brooch has some quite fine detail in it, and also I've made some little leaf bracelet designs as well, and they all need these finer gauges to work with the larger gauges as a structure. So we're going through loads and loads of different techniques of weaving and forming structures today, which will help you to form the cat piece. Yeah.
Wonderful. We're talking about the wire gauges, and I was just looking then thinking, boy, I can't think of a time we've had this much variety for a long, long time. So going from your structural to your weaving wires, I've got 10 metres of your 1 mil, all in your copper colour today, sticking with that theme. Doesn't that copper with the black look really stunning? Isn't that so elegant? Absolutely love it. So you've got the 1 mil, you've got the 0.8. Let me move that around. I've got loads of people coming in for this already because I've told you my price is shocking. 0.4 I've got as well, so we're going into the weaving wire area now. And you've got 15 metres worth of your 0.25. We've started now and again doing 15-metre reels for you of the 0.25, just as a little thank you really, because it is a thinner wire. You do tend to need a little bit more of it, and I actually think that's just kind of us really saying thank you to you for staying with us and getting all of your goodies with us, because we're giving you 15 metres of that now for the price we used to do 10 metres for. So you're going to be getting all of those wires. You're getting 45 metres worth in total. You've also got the findings pack. I always like it when I get to bring you a findings pack with a kit. It doesn't happen that often on Designer Inspiration, but it's happening today. And again, it's in that beautiful copper colours. This is your findings pack. It's the one that you get 115 pieces in there. It's the one with the 3 extender clasps. Let me show you the chain on this, because it's one of our slightly newer chains. It's a bit of the chunkier chain that we've got in this one. It's really gorgeous because you can create some quite eye-catching designs, but also because of the size of them, if you wish, you could use it as an extender chain yourself, because those loops themselves are perfect to be getting through your lobster claw clasp, for example, which sometimes, like the lariat style one, that can be a little bit tricky to do, can't it? Meters worth of this you have, and all of those goodies that you saw on screen before included loads of head pins in different varieties as well. So pop that in. You've got as well those beautiful black gemstones that we were talking to you about a moment ago. This is your stunning strand of black agate, 30 carats worth we have here. Black agate, the luster for me is absolutely astonishing. It's unlike anything else. It's just so rich. It's absolutely jet. It is really, really high sheen that we have here. And as we can see, it just works absolutely beautifully with the copper in Rachel's wonderful designs. These are 4mm. You've also then got your really wonderful white agate. So beautiful that you've got the monochrome of the same family in here. And this one is going to be your 3mm rounds that we have here. Now, you did ruin that, yeah. He went, oh no, I shouldn't have showed that. I forgot there was a cab coming up. It's like, yes. I think we'd worked it out with the cat brooch, to be honest. The beautiful, beautiful cab that I have got coming up for you. Let's look at that now. Oh, it reminds me of just deliciousness. Do you know what it reminds me of? That billionaire's shortbread. That's what it reminds me of. With extra caramel chatoyancy. Ooh, delish. You have got here a beautiful, beautiful example of exactly why we love a cabochon so much. This is your 15 carats worth of tiger's eye. 25 by 18mm that we have here. I can actually tell the quality of this because you could even see that chatoyancy blasting along the back as well, which usually will only happen on the domed section. Now, I'll be honest with you, this is already going. I'm going to be honest with you. I know how beautiful Rachel's designs are, and I know how beautiful this kit is, and I can tell, and you can tell at home, how much thought has been put into this. I know you can tell that because A, you can see how perfectly it works together, but B, because I've already got so many people purchasing this. What did you say then, love? Oh, fab. Yeah, I've already got loads of you getting it. Norma, Amanda, Samantha, Sharon, Linda, Veronica, loads and loads of names. I'm not even halfway through at that point. You've already bought it. You've already checked it out at the price that you've seen on the website or on the telephone. It should be. That's what you're all seeing now, and you're all purchasing at that price because you know I'm about to drop it. You know I'm going to drop it really well. I'm not going to take it to £30. Do you know what? At this, for the amount you're getting, if I was to take £7 off for you and make it say £30.10, that'd be a bargain. The fact of the matter is, I'm giving you over £15 off. £21.95. That's over £15 off today. That is absolutely stunning. You are going to be getting yourself a real treat here. You've got the monochrome of that beautiful variety of the gemstones. You've got that chatoyancy blast, that high quality cab. You have got 45 meters worth of your wires. Pretty much every wire you're going to want. Your 1mm, your 0.8. Are you joking? I've only got 40 left. That's it. I've only got 40 of those left. Can't go over that. There's so few left now. Already heading into my last chance saloon. It's because you've got over £15 saving. You have seen wonderful Rachel's gorgeous designs, and you all want to try and recreate it at home, basically.
Oh, well, I'm ready to go.
Are you ready and raring, Rachel? You're ready and raring.
I am.
These designs are so beautiful. I love what you've done with them. I love how you've worked them in, and I'm ready to get started.
Right. Right, so we get started. We basically need about 60 to 80 centimetres of 1mm wire.
Okay.
And we're going to make an outline, really, to fit around the cabochon. It's going to look a little bit like that. And you could just do a little bit of the cat at a time, but I just thought it's easier just to get the whole outline done. You've got the shaping of the cat done, and then you can start all the weaving.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is just form that cat shape.
Okay.
So, because we're going to finish with something like that.
So this is our finished. Have you got a name for your cat, Rachel?
No. If someone wants to phone in or text
Please
in a name.
text in a name for the cat. Let me give you a really good look. I want the name for the cat brooch. We can't just keep calling it cat brooch. She'll get upset.
I think it's a boy cat. It's a boy cat. Definitely a boy cat. And also it's ginger. Yes, ginger cat. So
Ginger tabby.
Yes, and so it's got to be a boy's
Ginger
name.
tabby.
Prerequisite.
We've had a few suggestions already. Someone's saying Charles. Someone's saying Ronald. All right. Producer Helena's suggestion, that one was. Maybe you can come up with something better at home. Text us in 60777 for a name for our little kitty cat. Okay, fab.
Right, so taking your 60 or 80 centimetres of wire, start about 2/3 of the length along the end. So we need a shorter length one end and about twice as long on the other end. And place it around the cab and start to make a little shape. So shape it around the cabochon and you don't have to be too tight because we're going to be doing some weaving in here. Just take this off, actually, it's too big a ring to be on here. Sorry about that. Off it goes. It's lovely, but I can't have it on. And shape it round so that you've got a bit of a gap around the cabochon.
Okay, so just
like
a mil or so around.
Yes,
gap.
yes. It doesn't have to be tight.
Okay.
And then using some chain nose pliers. Now I've got these two forms of the chain nose, ones the long ones, and these are lovely little balanced little pliers with lovely small ends, and you can get into the tight spaces with these. And if they've got them on the website, just so grab yourself some of these. They're lovely quality. I've probably gone in a bit too tight, so I'm going to adjust this, spend some time to adjust it so that you've got it around. Just lengthen this length a little bit because I don't want to end up with a too tight a frame. Okay. Because it really doesn't matter. I'd rather it a bit too loose than too tight, basically.
Yeah.
And then that's ready to go. That's fitted around the cabochon. So put the cabochon to one side, and we're going to carry on shaping the little cat body. Okay. So put that away. First of all, we're going to make some little legs. So I shape outwards and inwards with little movements of the pliers to make some little feet.
So you're just sort of undulating the wire,
aren't you? Just going to make some little paws. And if you have difficulty, there's loads of photographs on I've taken all the stages, and they'll be on the Facebook page, so you can print out and size it, and then you can actually just lay the wire over if you feel that it's difficult for you to trace it round. So I made one little paw.
Oh, how cute.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we try and make the other side the same. Because I'm actually doing this live on net, I may not balance it, but try and make sure every little undulation you do is just at the same sort of level.
I have actually got some of those half round wire pliers. Could you kind of gently do it to form maybe a toe section for that? Whatever tools you feel you're happy with using, actually. To be honest, those bale making, are they bale like little ones with lots of different... They're the ones
with gradations.
For the half round section.
Do you know, I haven't got a pair yet.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to show you them later.
I have not ever used them, so to be honest, I would have to find out and see whether it worked. So yeah, anything that you feel happy with using and that works. So, just remind me how I did this. Yeah, we need to leave this later on to make the face. Okay, so leave the shorter tail. Yes, and then what we're going to do is go up and bend round to start making the head of the cat. So again, taking time to make sure that you are making this balance. You can make an outer cheek, an ear, and again I'm just using my fingers and the tips of the pliers just to shape. I'm not really using any other tool at all. And up, again you can see I started to make a little ear, a shorter length across the top of the head. This is going to be dreadful because I'm just making it very quickly, but just take your time to shape this frame, because this is the most important part, really, getting the frame shape right.
Getting the frame right.
Making a cat shape.
To be fair, already, even though you're doing it completely freehand and really quickly, you can tell that's a cat straight away, can't you? It's amazing. And then down. I'm doing this upside down again to show the camera. So just try and make sure your lengths either side now are balanced for each side of the cheek. It isn't, but spend your time. You can see how I'm coming back to shape it. Okay, really, I'm making a real mash of this. Still, there we go. If you feel that you're not getting it right,
take the pliers in, shape it round. I've vaguely got a head that works, and then what I'm going to do is bring this round to form the bottom of the cat, and this will later on come round, pulling it round. This is right in the way, so bear with me, I'll just put this out of the way. That's the cat's little bottom.
Yeah.
Swinging this round, and I'm going to bring in some round nose pliers. I've just bent this round with my fingers. The wire is so flexible, you can do that. Using round nose pliers, just swing this round to form the tip, and then you can be fairly organic and free with the tail, because it doesn't have to be the same diameter the whole length down. I'm just pulling it round, shaping that, tugging it, and that's the tail.
Oh yeah, you can see that.
Yeah, and then this one will eventually form the face. I'm quickly going to do that.
Yeah.
Again, you can always leave this to a later stage, but I'm going to do this now.
Okay.
I'm turning the cat just so I can see it.
Yeah, go ahead, you can do it for yourself.
And then pulling this in. We're now going to form a three-dimensional little face. So this is, I angle upwards. I'm doing this away for the camera. Normally I'll have this towards me to see it, so if I get this wrong, please forgive me. And then, so it's upwards, and then a little triangle back towards the top of the head, so it's fitting in between the two ears like so on one side.
Yep.
Then I'm going to make a little triangle at the point vaguely where it's going to touch there.
So you've almost done, the first loop out was almost the muzzle bit, wasn't
Yes.
it? And then this is kind of almost like a
The
stripe
forehead,
down his
yes, it's a
forehead,
little forehead,
isn't it?
yes. Back up, forming a triangle. That triangle should be the same size as the gap between the ears, so I'm going to reshape that a little bit.
I see, yeah.
And spend a bit of time just to reshape it. So it fits in between the ears.
I see,
And
yeah.
then make this another bend where the nose is, and then back down to reach the other side of the neck. Now this is all wonky, so what I'm going to do is just bend with the pliers and make sure this little face is
where you want it
where
to
I want
be.
it to be, and I'll show you on another example, which is
that's super cute.
there we go. So you've got a three-dimensional face for a cat.
Yeah.
You've got a space for a cabochon, and you've got a bottom and a tail
Fab.
ready to go. So that's a frame that you're going to use. You don't need all of that, so you can trim that away and use it to make the brooch pin. And this you can use it to make another brooch pin or something else. Anyway, trim that away. You don't need all that, so you've got an easier workable frame.
Okay.
And that's one I did before, just to show you.
So that's
very
the look
easy.
we're going to be going for.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah, moving on.
Wonderful. Just to let you know really quickly, because I've got so few of this kit left, if you want to create this looks with that cabochon, those two beautiful strands, a 4mm and a 3mm strand of agate, which are going to be perfect for a bead loom, and all of that wire, 45 metres worth of pretty much every gauge you would want for this type of thing. Now's your chance to get it, because I've got so few left. I'm going to have to bring you on a new product really quickly, and it's actually fits in quite well because you've been using your round nose pliers. Now, why are these important, and why?
Can you see the length on there? And they're beautifully made, they're beautifully tapered to a really fine tip. You want a fine tip at the end, so you can reach into small spaces. You need a nice smooth surface, so you know, don't mark your wire. You need lovely, easy, comfort grips. You know, and you also need them to sort of balance properly when you're holding them.
When you're working with them.
So all those combinations make them a lovely pair of pliers to work with.
You've got these today coming in with some of the twisted wire. Now, have you worked with the twisted wire before?
I haven't,
No.
but I make my own twisted wire, so I've worked with twisted wire.
And what is it about twisted wire that you think's a nice effect? Yeah.
Because I just like it because you can make beautiful effects with them, you see.
Oh,
so
wow.
I
Let me show you
tend
this.
to put them in between gizmo coils, and that's my sort of main use for them actually. They make beautiful gizmo coils.
Yes.
Because they have texture. I mean, in fact, if you coil them on their own, they'll alternate and make a lovely sort of texture pattern on a gizmo coil. So that's my prime use for them.
I love
to be
that.
honest.
It gives you a totally different texture, doesn't it? It's really beautiful.
Yes.
You've got here your mixture of colours as well. So you've got the silver and gold, and you've got the silver and black. And actually, just looking at this, because you've got those kind of the silver already in here, maybe that silver and gold would go beautifully with this. In fact, the silver and black could work quite well. 0.4 on each of these. Remember, it's the individual strands, so essentially it's like working with a 0.8. You've also got yourself the antiques bronze as well, which is your 0.6, perfect for your findings. Great for little flourishes, little twists, little twerks. You've got absolutely loads on here. You've got 10 metres, 10 metres, 10 metres, 30 metres in total with your round nose pliers. Your price today is not going to be £16.30. Your price is in fact going to be, oh my goodness, it's going to be under £10. It's £9.95. I can't even wait to tell you that. It's £9.95. Get your hands on it
the
today.
tools and all that wire.
For the tool and all that wire. Genuinely, I've seen round nose pliers. You'll know way better than me. I've seen round nose pliers for around that price just by themselves. Have you as well?
Yes. I have, and then you're getting reels of wire that you're normally paying, you know, several pounds for all in one go. And that black and white wire, if you could team that with black and white rutile quartz, it is beautiful together because it just has that texture that fits in and flows in. So you pop a bit of rutile quartz and then weave that around it. It just works really well with gemstone.
Love that idea. That's fab. Get your hands on it whilst you can. £9.95. Loads of you coming in for this. You've got to be quick though. Okay, fab. Let's carry on with the kitty cat. We've had loads of name ideas coming in. Loads and loads. We'll get some up later.
Next thing we're going to do is start to bind the frame together.
Okay.
And the very first thing we need to do, I'm not sure whether I need to show you this, but we start to bind a sort of short piece, probably about 60 to 80 centimetres length of 0.4mm wire around the base, in between the legs here, just a couple of times. Maybe 2 or 3 times, just to start fixing the legs together, and obviously balance them so that they're fixed together nicely. Okay. 3 little wraps, which should probably do. And then you take each end of the wire along the inside of the paw and just wrap it around the wire. So I've taken those wires inwards. In fact, I'll take that behind because then it hides that wrap. Let me show you that a bit better. Apologise for my nails, by the way. I intended for them to be beautiful and they turned out awful. So I'm sorry about that.
In fact, you've got a very similar nail varnish colour to me today.
Yours look a bit more immaculately finished than mine. Mine is
but I'm not wireworking.
mother rushing in the car. And then try and wrap each end of the wire along the frame using some wraps until you actually get to this stage, because I'm trying to sort of rush this a little bit because we want to move on to the next stage. We've got so much to go through. So I've bound along in between the legs here and then wrap very tightly along until we reach about this level here on the legs, and that frame is just starting to hold together quite nicely there already.
Okay.
So the next thing we're going to do is form a second layer for this cabochon frame.
Okay.
And that is using a little bit more 1mm wire. We actually want to form a frame that sits over the cabochon.
So your first one wanted to be just slightly larger and this one wants to be slightly smaller?
Yes, this is going to hold the cabochon in place from the front.
Brilliant, I see.
So we take another bit of 1mm wire. It's probably one bit you cut off from one end of your frame, so you haven't thrown it away. It's coming to be useful with another part. So again, form a little oval. And it's very quick, just like a teardrop shape. You've done that over the cabochon. Take some flat nose pliers and bend outwards. Check again on the cabochon. I always work with the cabochon on a soft surface so that if you drop it or anything like that, you're not going to smash it. So working over carpet or anything like that is good. There, so that's just fitting in nicely. And then sharply bend downwards, holding the cabochon, the flat surface of your teardrop tight, bend downwards and then across like that, and you've formed like a little, I don't know what it is, like a little spoon shape or something like that fits over the top of the cabochon nicely.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And then when you do your weave will stand proud around the cabochon, and you'll be able to touch this down to the legs nicely. I don't know if you can see slightly on this.
So it's almost tapering it down, isn't it, to that leg point?
Yes.
I need to let you know that the piece that's on screen at the moment, I've got about 4 left and I've got 7 in basket. It's going to be a sellout. We'll just pop the kit back up for you.
So the next thing we do is, there we go, I'll get the piece out. This is the frightening piece because you've got lots of wire everywhere.
Wow.
We're going to get to that stage in a minute.
The cat looks like he's been playing with a ball of yarn,
yes,
doesn't he?
That's the bit that sort of puts everyone off a little bit of wire work. There's a lot of wire everywhere, but once you start trimming the wires back down and getting rid of them,
the cat comes before
more
tamer,
yes,
does it?
Does.
Okay.
So first of all, I'm just going to use a little bit of scrap wire to bind this in place, and you're going to remove this at a later stage. It's just to help you keep this cabochon, the frame of the cabochon in its right place.
Okay.
Because starting from one end, if you haven't got an attachment, it'll go all over the place, and you might actually end up sort of, it just makes it so much easier if it's bound at this stage, and it's scrap wire, you're going to cut it away.
Okay.
So 3 wraps around, and you can just tuck this wire away. I've just left short wire lengths of this wire because when we do this wrap round you might actually need a little bit to fill in the gap. So this, all I'm going to do is just take it round like that, and it's out of the way while you're working here at this end. Again, I'm going to bend the tail out of the way so you can see what you're doing, and there you can, we see we're actually starting to work with the cabochon frame that's going to be workable around this cabochon. So this is going to sit on top of it and start to form a frame.
Okay.
So taking a much longer length of 0.4mm wire, we're going to start to bind this or form the front of the cabochon frame. So I'm going to work with a short piece because we're on air and I've got to be moving quickly and with the arms not going all over the place. So you really need about double this.
Okay, so a couple of metres.
2 metres at least to go round. And I've just checked the sizing, it all looks right, it's going to fit into place. And then what I've done, if you can have a quick look at this little cat, you can see I've done a little weave 3 by 3 all the way round, but the top bit I've done a 3 by 3 across just the 2 wires.
Yeah.
And here I've done it across effectively 3 wires around the 2 cabochon and the 2 layers of the outer frame and this little other frame. I've also left a kind of spacing. I've not wrapped those so tightly that there's no spacing between them. I've left a little bit of a gap in the weave around, so make sure you do that.
Okay.
Don't wrap them so tightly so that those wires are so bound together you can't get wires in between them and you can't actually really fit the cabochon into space. You want to create a 3-dimensional belly to the cat. Yes, yes, otherwise the stone will pop out the back of the cat.
Yes, absolutely.
See,
good tip.
Yeah. So I've gone halfway along the wire and start at the top, and this is where I'm just going to put a couple, maybe 3 wires, 3 wraps around, just starting arbitrarily 3 wraps around here at the top of the inner cabochon frame.
Okay, so it's the smallest section essentially that we're starting on now, the smallest bit, the inside.
Yes.
You're going to go around that 3 times, so you're kind of anchoring, but it's starting off the design as well, isn't it?
It's starting off that weave, yes.
Which is why actually you can't see where this begins and ends, which is one of those really professional touches that
Yes, and
I personally don't think about, which is why it's amazing working with people like you, because it just blends it in.
You have to plan the piece from beginning to end, and that's sort of sometimes it keeps you awake at night to really planning.
Yeah.
And then once you planned it through, oh yes, I go from here to here. It's like a game or a puzzle. I mean, I enjoy that part of it. That's why I really enjoy making up these designs. It's like a puzzle or a game to actually get it right. Oh yes,
so you kind of almost see it in quite a mechanised way, really.
Well, it's a 3-dimensional form. I've got to go from one step to another. I've created almost the frame from one piece of wire. I've then got to make sure I use the ends of wire efficiently and create a design out of them.
Yeah.
So you do that as you go. And I do love that part of it.
Isn't it interesting to see how different people's brains works? Because mine just goes, oh, if I put that turn there, then that'll save me a minute.
The thing is, I've got to reproduce it. If I'm making it once, it's fine, because you can make all sorts of mistakes and hide them and stuff like that. But when you're doing it on end, you've got to reproduce it. You've got to remember what you did, and you do it in a planned way.
Absolutely.
It's completely different. So I've just done 3 very, very slowly. I probably wasted loads of time there. Sorry about that.
No, you didn't. Don't be silly.
And then,
you've got over half an hour left. You've got ages.
And then you basically take the next weave up across to the next or middle ring, and this is the bit where you've got to be, just to make sure that you hold these 2 pieces of wire very carefully so that you leave a gap and don't pull them too closely with this next weave through. Sorry. And again, you weave with 3 round. I use my mouth, I know it's not very hygienic, but when you're actually trying to stop the wire tangling.
That's quite
so
I've noticed as well, you pop your finger in the way, don't you? Your little finger's here. Is that another way to stop it kinking?
Catch the finger like that, can you see? As you go, and catch it before that kink forms if you can. So the minute you see it happening, don't let it happen. If it does happen, you stop, take a breath, and then you go and untangle it. Don't pull it, because you'll just make it work so bad. So basically, you do a 3 by 3 across this top portion. Imagine I've done that. And I've got to either side, here and here, with that. So and now I'm going to involve. I don't want this. Now I'm going to involve the outer frame. So I'm going to do 3 across this outer frame, and we're going to start to bind or pull these frames together. So again, leaving a gap. Don't do it too tight. So I'm leaving about a millimetre perhaps between. I'm going to try and turn it so you can see it, because of course I can see it, but you can't see it very well.
We can see that on the camera above quite nicely.
I'm trying to keep it still. So 3 around the outer frame. And now you've got your first binding of all 3 frames, then come up and start to bind across the middle. And you're zigzagging across the 3 frames, all the way, 3 frame wires, all the way down to the base or of the belly of the cat. So 3 round here, 3 round here, 3 round here, and then zigzag back to the outer, back in, all the way along the cat until you reach the end.
All the way along, zigzagging across, and then till you've done the belly.
That's right, but make sure at all the stages that you're pulling this little shape into a 3-dimensional shape, so that it doesn't pull too close together, because you just otherwise, because this stone is so domed, you're going to have the stone coming out the back of the cat. So that's really, really important. If you have a flatter stone, you can fit it in flatter, but this one's quite a sort of it's beautiful. Look at the iridescence or chatoyancy on it is beautiful. So shall we move on to the next stage? I'll show you what we're talking about.
Brilliant. So, if I just remind you where we're up to with the cat, we've done the outside frame, we've done the 3D face with the little triangle, and we have just started working on the belly section. So it's all of this weaving around here that we've done all the way to the bottom of the belly, incorporating in that side section there. Just to let you know that the kit, I've got a tiny amount left. I've already sold out of the other one. I'm in my teens on it. It was $21.95 for 45 meters worth of wire, a cab, a whole strand of agate 4mm, and a whole strand of your white agate in the 3mm. Get your hands on it today at $21.95. You had over £15 saving on that today. Get it whilst you can. Zag C43 is your code.
Right, here I've probably woven these 2 closely together, so I'm showing you an example of what not to do here. With this one, I've actually done the weave very close.
Oh, I can see, so it's kind of a bit flatter.
Yes, it's flatter. It won't really fit the stone very well. Look, you'll have a job. So I wanted to show you this one. This wasn't,
I can see
exactly it won't fit it very well at all. It's
so when you look at the
side.
Bottom, if you look at the bottom of this,
it's not
can
fitting.
Can you see the gap there?
Yes,
so that's
you don't want that.
Good.
So you want a bigger gap in between these weaves, so make sure you hold that like that. I just wanted to show you that.
That's brilliant.
In the meantime, you've done this weave all the way around with a bigger gap in between all 3 frame wires.
Yeah.
You've gone round to the end. You've got a bit of scrap wire here, so we're going to cut that away. We don't need that, but that was tremendously useful in helping hold that frame wire in place, that inner frame wire in place while you so carefully cut it away so you're not going to cut anything else. So get rid of that. You've also got, so you've got 2 wires that have been left from the weave round. You've got 2 wires that have been left from weaving the legs.
Okay.
Now you can use those just to fill in these little gaps here if you like, by just poking in through the spaces, and I'll just show you one of those. In fact, actually this is probably easier to see. There's a little gap here, and just poke the wire in through, and then we're just going to show you how to finish off. Pull tight, and you can weave all the way up to this next little weave if you like. Just use your fingernail just to push the weave down, and then very, very carefully feed that in, and you can actually fill in the gap completely if you like. I'm just going to trim very close. These flush cutter pliers are absolutely brilliant. You can actually get so close to trim, and I absolutely love working with these. Then use the chain nose pliers just to smooth round, so gently smooth round to actually make sure there's no sharp edges from that bit you've cut. So smooth round, and do the same with the other side.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just going to commit dreadful sacrilege and just take that and cut that away, because I can finish this off later if I ever want to set this cat. What we're going to do now is work with the 2 wires that we had left over from the weave. Now if you run out of wire, you can add it in on the way, but don't run out of wire on this section because it will look messy if you can help it. And if you run out of wire here, then you can tuck in here and then add another piece of wire just to bind down the legs. I don't need quite as much as what I've got, so I'll take some of it away. And what I'm going to do is we need now just to bind down this section at the end of that cabochon setting. Remember, really, we should have a little bit more here. It should be prouder from the outer frames than this, because this was the mistake one. But I'll still find a cabochon to set in it.
Just
you know,
a slightly
I'll look
flatter
around.
one.
Yeah, I'll find a flat teardrop stone will fit in quite nicely. So taking the wire from those 2 wraps around, I'm just going to now just work down this little end, and this finally seals the cabochon in place. It's quite important to bind this very tightly because we don't want the cabochon to fall out. This is the weak spot for the cabochon to fall out.
Okay.
So make sure this bit is bound very tightly together, and in fact actually if you can bind at the top of of where the wires bend, that'll actually help. You can see what I've done. I've just formed a little weave in. That'll help keep it very tightly secured, and there's no gap at all to let the base of that teardrop fall through.
Okay.
Next thing we're going to do is just bring the wire up, and we're going to start continuing along this 2 little stumps of wire that we've got to form some leg detail. And you can have these any length you like, because what I've done is formed a little heart shape at the base of the cat, like that with it, and I've wrapped along and bound it to the side of the frame. So I'm just going to quickly show you with one side.
Absolutely, fab.
So bringing the wire up, push tightly with the fingernail up as far as you can to make sure there's no gaps in the wire. And if you do find there's gaps in the wire, use the pliers to push back as much as you can so there's no gaps between the wire at the top, at the base there. If you do have a little gap and you can't get rid of it, bind a little gemstone over that area and you'll hide it.
Hide away.
So you know there's ways around it if things happen.
Okay.
So in the meantime, I'm also just going to make sure these are the same length. Before you spiral, I'm just going to spiral these into place, but not too tightly at this stage. Using the flat nose pliers, just trim the end if it's not quite circular, and take it in so it forms a little paw detail, and that'll fit tightly into place. And I'm going to bind along fact, what I've done, in this one I've bound outwards.
Okay.
In fact, what I've done in the design, don't worry, I can always easily bend it round. Just take it slowly so you don't fracture the wire.
Yeah.
And I bound it to the outside.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter, it looks quite nice the other way around as well. But this means that on the outer curve of the wire, again this is optional because you don't have to do it because the wire really will hold itself in place. I've also bound around the outside frame and this leg detail just to add strength to the piece.
I see, so it's got a function as well.
Yes. So again, pushing with the pliers to push that the binding very close. It looks all you can in like an invisible setting.
Yes, I see.
And then bring it in, and if you can do that, do another bind maybe along the outside if you've got a gap. If not, trim. If you haven't got a space to fit it, trim it in, and then tuck in with the pliers very carefully because we want to actually make sure that you've got no ends that get in the way. Yeah, just push it in, push these little side bits together, and you've got a setting that for the leg, and do the same with the other side.
Okay, brilliant.
Next thing we're going to do is just start off. I'm just going to trim that away because that's.
So you've just done the little porter's feet.
And then what we need to do next is weave a face. So I'm just going to give you the next bit.
Face weaving next.
Sorry, I've got it all tangled. I think the eyes have come out of their little package. So when you're weaving the face, we're going to start, I'm going to use this one to work with. We want to bind the forehead in place first of all.
Okay.
So I'm going to get another piece of 0.4 wire.
So we're going to be binding this section here first. This is where we start, and that's from the 3D face. This is the triangle we left earlier on, just after doing that kind of snouty muzzle bit. We're going to start there.
And just use a very short length, probably about 15 centimetres length. I've just threaded it through, and I'm binding the two pieces at the top of the head of the cat together, and take that in a nice little neat little row along to bind those two bits together. So that's that. Make sure you do the other side, and it's actually having the two bits the same distance, the same length. This section here should be the same length as this section here. Okay. So as you bind it, will sort of automatically lock it into place actually, because there's nowhere else for the wire to go. So I'm just taking this round just to lock, and already the head is going to become fixed together and more secure.
So that's going to be easier for you to weave on, isn't it?
It is, once you've done this first. It's really important you do this first and you fix it into place. So again, weave it round. You can see I've just tried to make sure the wires lay right next to each other, and then tuck both ends in, trim, and trim. And you tuck those both ends in so they're out of the way.
So you're snipping off at this point. That section's done, really, to lock it all in.
Got to get rid of the wires and then tuck it in very carefully. On that side it's gone in, and that side, just feel it's a little bit of a sharp edge. Make sure you tuck that bit in. So that's out of the way now. Now with this, we're going to weave down from the ear, all the way down one side of the face. And you need a slightly longer bit of wire for that one because you're also going to weave down the back of the body.
Okay.
And with someone, we can have a fairly short piece of wire and then just weave down here.
Okay.
And if you can see how I've done it, I'm just going to start off the weave, but it's a basic 2x2 weave, basic all the way down.
Okay,
that's all it is. So what I'm going to do is just get some 0.4 wire, start you off so you can see what to do.
So we can see how to do it.
Yes.
Just to let you know, I have got less quantity than I have people with this in their baskets right now. So someone's going to miss out. It's either going to be West Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, Kent, London, Devon, County Durham, Wiltshire, Sussex, Yorkshire, Cambridge, Lincolnshire. Someone else has just come in. thought I could do that in one breath, but I can't now. Greater London, Ohio, West Midlands, Leicestershire, loads of you basically. Someone's going to miss out. Jordan, you've just come in, you've just put it in your basket. You are going to check it out and you will have one, but some other people will be missing out. £21.95, £15 off for you today. Get it whilst you can. You've got these gorgeous gemstones. 10 metres of 1 mil, 10 metres of 0.8, 10 metres of 0.4 and 15 metres worth of that 2025. And you got the findings back, I've just remembered. Amazing. £21.95.
Yeah, it's a really good value actually.
It is, isn't it?
So what I've done is bound a length of 0.4 wire around the tip of the ear.
Okay.
This bit I've just left so I can tuck in any gaps.
Yeah.
And this longer bit we're going to use to weave. So
Okay.
I've just literally done sort of 4 or 5 maybe wraps around. And then you can pass it along. If you're coming over the top of the frame, pass it to the underside of the opposite frame and then wrap around. So I'm using really basic weaves. This is one of the first weaves anyone learns really, the basic 2x2. Twice around this outer frame, and then you pass back because you're passing over on the outer, under, and then over this back to the beginning again frame.
I see.
And then twice around, keeping everything tight. And because you're weaving from a smaller to a larger space, this is really easy peasy, this bit. And then back. This bit's not so easy because you're weaving from a larger to a smaller space. You can either choose to weave up if you like, but I just carried on because I'm a bit more practiced in this. But it doesn't matter what you do, it's whatever you feel is happy just to fill the space.
And this weave's actually perfect for the ear because it gives that triangle shape, doesn't it? It's so cute. It's like a proper cat's ear, the way it goes in. It's amazing.
We're trying to give that texture, and because again, you've got to fill quite a large space with the wire weave, and it's also got to make sure that's quite tight as you go because you don't want gaps in. So I'm trying not to show the frame wire.
Yes, okay.
And then once you get to the base of the ear, I just want to show you the technique of what to do with the next stage, and then we'll move on.
And that's how to take it from the ear to the kind of
facial area, yes.
Okay.
Because there's a slight jump in the weave, and then round here, nearly there. Can you see? And it's building a nice tight little triangle weave. And you can remember you can use this weave in so many areas of your wire work. It's just a fabulous one, and it's an ancient basket weave. I mean, this has been used for thousands of years. You know, in prehistory, really.
Wow.
And we've just adapted it to our work, haven't we? So that's what we're...
Absolutely. And like you say, it is one that people kind of start learning. So if you're looking at this and you haven't maybe done that much wire work before, I'm sure even you'll recognise this weave, which is great to show that you can actually even incorporate kind of the beginner's weaves in something that is so amazingly elaborate and stunning piece. I love that about it. A bit of something for everyone, isn't there?
Tried not to be too difficult with everything. Why make it too complicated when
you don't
have to? I use this 2x2 weave in my little ring masterclass. If you look it up, and it goes through that there as well.
Yeah.
And Laura binding does so much work. I mean, actually, all the wire workers use this sort of weave.
Yeah.
I've jumped from this top of the ear to the top of the face.
Okay.
And I've bound round a couple of times, and you just got to make sure if you start feeling that you're travelling down one side. And you're not catching up on the other side.
Yeah.
Just do a few extra wraps around on this side and until you balance it up.
I see.
Add an extra one in. So 3 and 2, 3 and 2 until you balance it back up, because I've basically this side has travelled down further than that side. So I'm going to do 3 wraps round this side of the face and then traverse across.
But that's so slight you won't be able to notice that at all,
as long as
you?
So, and then back, and then you see now you can carry on the facial weave, basically. And then carry on back towards the centre of the face and down. So we're going to move on to the next stage now, Becky.
Okay, wonderful.
So I'm just going to drop this down.
Lovely jubbly. Single figures massively left now. There's loads of you still with it in your baskets, and I'm not totally sure why actually. We're going to use the wire twisting pliers later on, are we? Have we got them now on this demo or later?
I don't know.
Oh,
I haven't. I've got them. I just wanted to, it might sort of introduce into the time of the demo, but there we go. What I've done, because sometimes these open up while you're using them, I bound a bit of scrap wire around them while they're closed.
That's clever.
It's permanently bound together, so never opening these jaws again. They are permanently bound with big heavy wrapper 1mm wire, and then all you do is thread your loop through here.
Fab.
And you've made it, and then you can make your twists.
Oh, I love that. Fab.
And that loop there, you can actually thread your wire through, make a knot, because I know people are saying the jaws look at these
come apart,
but you won't with this.
Clever little
as far
technique.
as I've done, it hasn't opened up. I just bound them tightly together with a 1mm.
Clever little technique. Now, my producer Helena, sorry to interrupt, but my producer Helena's a little bit worried because we've got so few of these left. Obviously, we're a shopping channel, we have to have some on the screen. So I'm going to bring these to you now. It is your 6-inch twisting pliers. You know that beautiful, beautiful bracelet that the lovely Rachel has just shown us. This is how you've twisted your wire with these, haven't you?
Yes.
It is the same tool, slightly different size one that we've got here. That's how we've created this look here. It's your 6-inch twisting pliers. We'll talk to you exactly about how to use them, etc. later on, but realistically all you have to do is you feed your wire through, you move your silver cap back, and all you have to do then is by pulling out the twist at the bottom, the whole tool itself twists in your hand. You just let go of it, the whole thing twists, grab it again, let it go through, twist it again, really easy. You get this beautiful twisted design. Your price today is just £14.95. It's a tool that's going to last you and last you and last you. Some beautiful designs you can make with this, including clasps. You can make your own twisted wire. It's just £14.95 for you today. Fab. So we've done the face section now.
Yes, and we're just going to quickly show how to make some eyes.
Yeah.
So what I've done is used some 0.8 wire and made 2 little eye shapes. I'll quickly show you how to make that.
Lovely.
I've got some 0.8. And basically make a little loop. Just make sure you do everything so that they're the same size. This one's for a different cat. So I've decided anyway. And that's going to just make a little loop round. And then before you do the next stage, thread a little black bead on. And then make a sharp bend. Just make sure at this stage you're going to fit it to the face of the cat.
So it'll fit on.
So it'll fit on. So this one's going to be like the tear duct of the cat. No, sorry, it fits on the outside of the thing, like that.
Yep, I see.
Okay.
So it's almost the eyelashes.
Yes, like the eyelash, and then sharply turn, shape with your fingers. Don't mash it up. I don't want to lose the time doing this when I should be showing everything else.
Don't worry, you've got plenty of time left.
And then this basically forms a little eye that fits into place.
Okay.
Okay, and trim to the same size either side, because we're going to make them up into like a little handled moustache, or it's not a moustache. I meant to be whiskers, but they look like a handlebar moustache. So
now you've said it, I can see it, and I love that. It's like a biker cat.
It is.
It's so cute.
And then what I'm going to do is quite a common technique, but used on a larger scale. I forgot herringbone. That's it. Little herringbone weave to make the eye. Can you see what I've done?
Oh wow,
with
yeah,
a 0.25, and it looks like a sort of Egyptian eye shape. You know?
It does.
So take a length of 0.25 wire.
Don't forget, you get 15 metres worth of this in the kit at the bottom of the screen now.
And be careful as you undo it, because it goes ping, it goes everywhere. And then I'm just going to, which it has, it's going to have to go ping, okay, because I haven't got time for me to sort of be
don't worry.
genteel with it. And then basically taking the end of the wire, wrap a couple of times around one side, and I leave a stub of wire so that you can bind it to the side of the face.
Okay.
So that's what you're going to do. You can attach it with this end of the wire. So I've got 1, 2, 3 wraps, so that's fairly well secure, and I can use that to bind to the side of the face. And that's on one side of the gemstone. Then pass it around the top of the eye, and then holding it with thumb and forefinger so it doesn't slip round, wrap round once until I'm going to turn it slightly until it reaches the other side of the eye, back to where you started from, cross and round, just round a loop round until you've reached the top of the eye. And we do this about 4 times. Okay, round, holding thumb and forefinger so it doesn't travel round or travel round. You want to keep it fairly flat. Round once, and then round again. So do this about 4 times, so we've built up a real lovely sort of almost eye bezel setting for the eye.
It is, isn't it?
You see what I'm doing? I'm looping, just looping it, holding it in place.
Hold, loop round.
Round, and then to the opposite side of the gemstone.
Yep.
And you're forming a little herringbone weave. And you want to actually end up with the other end of the wire towards the nose section of the cat.
Okay, so on the inner side.
Inner side. Now, we might have to jump quickly because we haven't got that much time.
Yep.
So I'll describe what we're going to do.
Okay, fab.
So you've got a piece of wire here, piece of wire there, and you use one bit of wire and bind it around the inside of the
near the
frame,
triangle,
and then trim and tuck in. On the other side, you bind it around the outer and trim and tuck in.
Okay, yeah, fab.
Okay. And then you've got another eye to add in, and you can see also I've got a nose in the middle. And I did cheat and use a little copper ball because I was going to put a little black nose in, but I thought it detracted from the eye. So I just nicked a copper ball from Findings Pack and one of your wonderful copper ball packs. In fact, if I can find the code for you, can put it on. But there's plenty on the website actually.
Fab.
And then with the other side, when you're putting the other eye on, because you've got the 2 eyes, make sure you also bind a little copper ball into the middle of the nose.
Okay.
So bind that one there, trim and tuck in, bind this one, and also as you're doing it, bind round the little copper ball for the nose.
Okay,
I'm so sorry I can't show you how to do that.
No, we'll understand that,
here.
especially when I show you it. You can see it's all in the same area.
It's a bit fiddly, but once you've done it and you put it in tight, it'll work. It will work because I've done it several times now. And you've got a little nose; it doesn't move about, and you can see the eyes are fine as well.
Okay.
And what I've also done, if I move that out of the way, is bound down the back of the cat with some wire.
All the way down.
All the way down.
Spine almost, isn't it?
And I've also bound down this bit of the tail, of the side of the neck, and also curl these little bits up into making little swells. So that's the next bit. Bind down here, twirl these, twirl that end, and bind down the back of the cat.
Okay.
And then what we're going to do is just do herringbone, not herringbone weave. We're going to do a normal weave down the tail.
Yep.
Now, I can, again, starting you off is a little bit, we've seen it really for the ear. We've seen the weave.
How to start it off, yes.
So I'm going to talk you
weave.
through it, in fact.
Okay.
Because, to be honest, you really want to know what to do at the different stages of the cat. Also, the other thing I did was curl the tongue of the cat.
Oh,
so
yes.
at this stage, we've bound down here, curl the tongue of the cat, and weave down the tail. So that's the differences between these 2 stages.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just show those to you, and I'm going to talk through this weave so that you can see how I've managed to achieve it.
Fab.
With this weave, I've left a long tail of wire here, and you've got wire left over from the. In fact, actually, sorry, I've jumped a stage.
No, don't worry. It's absolutely fine.
Before you weave the tail, you need to set the cabochon in place because you haven't got much space otherwise. So
Once the tails,
don't weave the tail until you've set the cabochon in place.
Okay.
So next stage is to make a little heart that fits along the back of the teardrop nicely.
Okay.
So you do that just with the length of wire, make a loop and fit it in the back.
Perfect.
And then what you need to do is set the stone in just to check it fits. Now if you've got a bit of tape, you can also tape it in place if you like, and that fits in nicely. That also fits in nicely, and we're going to take some 0.4 wire and bind to that end and then start working our way around in the gaps. I'll just quickly show you how to do that.
Yeah, I'll show exactly what we're talking about. It's this bit here. So you're just going to do a couple of starbursts out, sorry my love, and then we're wrapping around this. So it's keeping that cab in place so it's nicely positioned as his little tummy.
Now I'm going to work with a really short bit of wire to save time, but you need, probably again about 80 centimetres either side.
Okay.
And first of all, I bind the heart together with a few wraps.
So where that cleavage point in the heart
Yes.
is, you bind those bits together first.
Because you want it to hold together as a secure frame. And up the side of the heart. And again, I probably would do 3 wraps around the centre of the heart and then up the side, and I've only done 2 to save time, okay, so because we haven't got a huge amount of time. And then this side a couple of times round. Again, I would normally have a lot longer length of wire. I'm just trying to show you the basic principles of it. And then you also need another end of wire. So you've got the heart with 2 ends, quite longer than I've got, ready to set the cabochon in place. Again, with this one, just check what I've done. A few wraps around the base of the heart, so you can basically set it in all at the same time. If you find this too difficult, tape one end with a bit of masking tape, work on one end and then work on the other. Okay. So it's up to you. That method will work very well as well. So you've got this one end and the other end ready to set this in. At this stage, work over a soft surface, because if it falls out, you lose it. And then start to find a space. With this one, you've got, because I've left lots of spaces between the weaves, I can easily just loop in and out through spaces. Again, sorry, I must look for it.
Yeah, it's fine, don't worry.
And then loop it round, and then back in under this, and a couple of times round. And then, again, it's not that tight, so don't do it too securely at this moment. You can, don't carry on for too much further along, because you'll need to just pull it a bit tighter in the moment. So I've gone round and through the outer frame, back up. Sorry, it's kinked. Underneath this frame here, I'm starting to set this bezel in place. I'm keeping the stone in place because I want to have it fitted. Because again, if you haven't got the, there we are, that bit's ready to go. Again, I can put it in tighter, it's already pulled in tighter. And with this other end, I do the same, find a bit of space in the frame, and you can basically then work around from either end. So I find a bit of space, there's plenty of little gaps. If you do leave gaps between the weaves, that's what you've got to try and do. If you find the 0.4 won't fit through, use the 0.25, but accept that you might have to use more sort of little bindings to keep it in place without it breaking.
Okay.
I'm just going to slightly move this out of the way. Sorry, I've gone and kinked the end of the wire, and that's why it's not fitting through. If the wire starts kinking and you can't fit it through the gaps, just cut the end off, make your life easier, and use a fresh end of the wire just to try and thread through.
So that's another reason to give yourself a little bit of extra wire.
Absolutely, absolutely. What a good point. Yes, exactly. So you can see I've started to bind this in place with a wrap through at the base and wrap through the side, and you basically bring this back in towards the heart and wrap round a few times in this inside part of the heart. And if you find that's caught, I'm just going to move this little so I can actually move this into place. Pull that quite tight. Again, I would have secured that side, and it's already holding the cabochon in place.
Even though you've only done a couple?
Yes.
Fab.
And then what I do, wrap round this heart, find another spot, wrap back, another spot, and wrap round until we've got basically what looks like this at the back. Can you see what I've done?
It's kind of almost a starburst effect, isn't it?
Yes. And then you don't need that many attachments. You don't need to do hundreds.
No.
You know, I've just done enough to hold that cabochon in place. And what you've got is also just hidden within this weave. You can hardly see where it's gone.
No, you can't at all.
So it just becomes part of this weave on the outside.
That's fab.
And there, that's what I put there. That's where I put it.
That's wonderful.
Okay.
Yes,
and
got that.
then you weave down this tail.
Okay.
Leaving a long length here to attach
At the
a bead
top of
to.
the tail.
Yes, which I'm going to attach a little black bead to.
So that's with the
Wire
same
frame
weave
bead.
we used on the ears, isn't it?
Exactly. And what we're doing, so I'm going to. Why I've decided to lose all the black beads, I don't know. You attach a little black bead to the end of the tail, just with the wire, and with this attachment you also then attach to the frame, so this tail is no longer wobbling about.
No.
Okay, I will talk through the weave as well because I'm going to miss that bit out. Just trying to, if I can get it all in there, and so just basically attach through, bind around the neck of the cat, and you can wrap it round the the tail bead as well, if you like, a few times, just to add a bit of detail, and then wrap it back round and secure.
Okay.
Again, I'm doing this so quickly, I must apologise, because normally obviously you spend a whole day making this, or a morning or something, and you wouldn't do it in 5 seconds. So with that bound in place, tucked in and trimmed away, and you've already woven this bit, and I must talk you through, because we've got a larger length traverse on this side compared to this side, and this side is a longer length traverse compared to that side, so you change your weave ratio. And I've gone a 3, I think I've changed a 2 to, I've done an even weave here, and as I've got to this bit, I've added on an extra couple of wraps around this compared to this side. So I think it's either 4 to 3 or a 5 to 3 on this side, and then as you come here, you do an even number of weaves each side, and this side you do more wraps around this side compared to that side. And also what I've done when I've gone through this bit is actually bound through the tail to the frame as well, to add extra security. That tail is bound here, and it is also bound here with the weaving process.
Got ya.
And you end up with 2 pieces of wire here, and whichever is the longest bit, you also wind up this little tail to form this last little bit of spiral. So you trim one bit off, that could have come from the back, and this could have come from the tail, and whichever is the longest you can use for the next stage.
You can use for the next bit. Fab.
Okay, and with this end bit, you've got a nice tail spiraled. Because we've only got 2 minutes, I'm just going to show you where to attach the brooch pin.
Okay,
and if you've got time, I'll spiral down the tail.
All right, brilliant.
Okay. The brooch pin is attached to the back of the cat.
Here. And this, don't forget, you could have made with that little bit of leftover right at the very beginning, couldn't you?
Yes. Now, to make it, I think everyone, I don't know whether people have been shown how to make a brooch pin before. Again, if we've got time, we'll quickly do it. But what I have done is wound along the back of the brooch pin with some 0.4 wire, and then I can use it to attach it to the back of the cat. I use it and attach it, and I've also made sure I measured the length of the brooch pin so it would fit from the neck to between the legs at the base.
Because you don't want a sneaky peek of that, do you?
No. And so if I can try and hide it, one bit bound around here and the other bit bound around the neck, that's hidden that brooch pin away nicely to the back of the cat.
Perfect. Absolutely wonderful.
And if we've got time, then what I will do is just show you. I would have done that. I've showed you how to bind the tail in there. That would have been tidying up the back of the cabochon, which I haven't had time to show you, but you understand what you're doing. You're just tucking in that very end.
Yeah, I see.
And with this bit, I've just bound this end of the tail. I know I've jumped all over the place, but at least I know I've covered it. I've done it all. So bound the tail in place at the top, and then bind up a little way. And see how I push down, and then we curl at the end to form a nice little detail. We've done it really, haven't we?
Yeah.
Good, I'm happy with that. I didn't know whether I covered it, how it's quite a complex set of techniques, but it's almost like partially being a magazine article, partially being a live demo. I've talked you through the intermediate, slightly longer stages anyway.
Absolutely. Okay. And you're going to get those templates up later on. We've had people messaging in saying, I can't find Rachel's Facebook. What is your Facebook page, Rachel?
I've got several. One is a JM Guest Designer Facebook, and I'm also find that under Rachel Norris as well.
Norris. So
but if you find
JM Guest Designer Rachel Norris,
you will find me there. Message me and I'll do my best to help with any queries
work related. We've had loads of texts in for names. We better get some of them up, hadn't we? We asked you to text in. What name would you give our little ginger tabby cat? And we've had lots in. Let's have a look at some of those. So we've had loads in. Yeah, Rachel Norris. I think the cat should be called Tigger, because it has a tiger's eye tummy. Rachel, you're truly inspirational. It's from the rain.
Thank you very much. That's really kind of you.
I like that. How about Fudge? Oh, yeah. I have a ginger cross tabby, a Bengali cat, and his name is Fudge. I like Fudge. Sarah, please make yourself a little Fudge and send a picture to us. That's from Sarah. Thank you very much for that, you love. What else have we got? And about, my producer says, there's so many, she's trying to sift through them. By the way, that kit did sell out, I'm sorry to say. My little cat is called Tiger Lily, Lily for short. And as you're using tiger's eye, it would be perfect. That is perfect, Jen. I love that. Tiger Lily.
Excellent. They're all lovely names, actually.
Aren't they
Butterscotch
beautiful?
and Fudge and Toffee and Tiger Lily. Lovely.
Thanks for making a cat, Rachel. I've been wishing it to happen for ages. Cat's name, Rosie, as she is rose gold colour, and that's from in her. That's so sweet. People have been waiting and waiting for this cat, haven't they? Oh my
Well, Alice
goodness.
and Tarry did this beautiful dogs, but we correspond with each other and do make sure that we don't overlap with with themes.
Of course.
And I thought, well, I can do my cat then. It's fine. She's done some dogs, and I can do a little cat now.
Someone can start their own little pet family, can't they? They absolutely can. And we've got one more we can squeeze in. How about Popoki? Oh, that's Hawaiian for cat. Oh, I love that. It's meow in Cantonese. Bit of a compromise between meow and meow. Lol. I like that, Sue. Sue, an educational text there as well. Thank you for that. I love it. Beautiful. Thank you so much for showing us those designs.
You've been so good with me as well.
Oh my gosh, they are just... I know everyone's sat at home now just planning on getting their wire out, but do not stay exactly where you are, because we've got that beautiful lily design from you in a little bit.
Yes.
I cannot wait. After this break, I have got the Opal workshop. Stay exactly where you are. It's going to be very short. We'll be back in a minute.
Thank you.
Jewellery Maker are having a web exclusive sale on 925 sterling silver. Head over to our website now and take advantage of up to 75% off. All stock must go, but be quick, because if you miss it, you'll miss out.
When shopping with Jewellery Maker, you can add as many items to your order in one day and only pay one postage and packaging charge. We have two delivery options. Standard delivery at just £2.95 and you'll receive your parcel within 4 to 6 days. Or opt for our premium delivery at just £4.95 and you'll receive your parcel within 3 to 4 days. Happy shopping with Jewellery Maker.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Designer Inspiration. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Rebecca Redican, and hasn't today so far just been perfect with our beautiful cat design from the one, the only, the wonderful. Give her time to walk to the desk. Rachel Norris! You got back in time.
I have, thank you.
I cannot wait to see our talk through the second Designer Inspiration, which we're coming to in literally around half an hour or so. Give us a little clue as to what to expect.
It's, again, following on from the edition 1 DVD. It's carrying on a theme, bringing some more flowers, and it's a design, a flower I've been wanting to make for a long time. I did want to do it a year ago, and the cat and the lily have been waiting for a year to come out of me, basically. And I'm so pleased to have made it. I really enjoyed putting this flower together.
It is so beautiful. I love the variation you've got of it as well. I really do. So, Opal Showcase, finally. Now, I've got an Opal showcase for you now. Now, it's really important that I believe that in our Opal and any showcase that we give you, we depart a little bit of information about the gemstone we're going to be focusing on. So please do excuse me if you already know some of these facts, but I just want to cover bases for everyone really. Opal is one of those gemstones that I think is kind of inbuilt into kind of the human perception, as it were. It's definitely a gemstone that we know from a young age, alongside things like your diamonds and your topaz. Opal started off back in the day. There was a book written around the 1800s by a gentleman called Sir Walter Scott, very, very well known. And he wrote a book which essentially had within it a young woman called Lady Hermione, and she was falsely accused within this story and within this tale of being a demoness. And she was very much sort of her hand in hand with Opal. She used to wear Opal, she adored Opal, it was one of her favourites. And people around this time would read that book, and instantly, within the matter of weeks of that book going to be published, and the popularity of the book by the amazing writer Sir Walter Scott, the sales and the popularity of Opal just plummeted within weeks by around 50%, which is a huge amount actually, just within a few weeks, just from one book. It's had a total change around now though. It's actually been taken on by a lot of feng shui, works with it. Crystal healers like to work with Opal quite a lot as well. It's seen now as a good luck charm because a lot of them will have that colour play, that opalescence inside, which as we know can come in a range of colours, rainbow of colours if you like. And when we think of rainbows, we think of good luck, we think of money, we think of wealth, and that's now more what we're going on when we're looking at Opal. Now, Opal has taken thousands upon thousands upon thousands, up to billions of years to create by Mother Nature. And essentially what happens is, say that to me, oh have you little love. Essentially what happens is, if you've got that form 1 for me, so this is in the top of summer where your opal is formed, and that, as you can see there's you've got the sun, you've got the crust of the earth, and then you've got that water table. Now that water table at that moment in time is very, very low, but as it starts to rain, that water table will increase. Now, although that's in the top of into the earth, you can see the water creeping through the cracks and the crevices. Now, as that water's draining through, it's picking up a silica-based substance. Now, as that silica-based substance is kind of pushed through the crust of the earth, it picks up lots of other minerals. Now, as that heads down into those fractures and into those crevices, that water table will rise. And then again, what happens is, when we go back to that first slide, as the sun comes, that water table evaporates all the water, so the water table drops, and that then means where that crack and crevice that you just saw then was covered with that water in the water table, the silica-based substance has now been evaporated, and you're left with this vast amount of opal in there. So that is how opal is formed. But that takes thousands upon thousands of years. Every single layer takes many, many, many years to create, purely from Mother Nature. Now, when we look at opal, you're going to be looking for a few things. I've got lots of different types for you today. I'm going to be starting off in a moment with a strand of fire opal. A lot of the time in opal, it's probably one of the biggest variety of gems for the differences you're looking for. So for example, when I bring sapphire to you, you'll already have a checklist in your head of the things you're looking for. It doesn't matter what colour of sapphire it is. You know you're going to want the clarity, the saturation, the hue. Opal's totally different. In certain opals, you're going to want to be talking about seeing pinheads of fire. In some opals, you're just going to want to see a really interesting internal structure, such as with your dendrite. In fire opal, for example, one thing you're going to want to see is you want saturation of colour. Now, when I say saturation, I mean kind of intensity, the amount. I don't necessarily mean really, really bright colours of orange, although that is nice, but I mean that you want saturation. You want every single part of that stone to almost just have a wealth of vibrancy within it. So that's what you're going to be looking for in this. If you can see that, you know you've got quality. If you can see clarity, that's another checkbox. That's another high price point we're going to be looking at. That's another thing you want. You're also looking for any opal really on workmanship. Check the workmanship that's gone into each of these strands. See if it's going to work for you at the end of the day. So bear all of those things in mind whilst I start off with this fire opal. From the #1 location to get your fire opal from, remember, saturation and clarity, workmanship. Take a look at this. Wow. Have you got saturation there? Can you see all over every single one of these gems? There's not one area, is there, that, so on one stone, there's not one area that's kind of, a little bit yellowy and then it's bright orange. No, it's even throughout. It's a really beautiful amount of saturation in this. Have you got clarity? and answer it yourself. Have you got clarity to this? If I run my thumb over the back, can you see that? As I run my thumb across the back. That's meaning you're getting the clarity there. You can see that absolutely, can't you? And then, have you got good workmanship? Facets everywhere, graduation in this, beautiful facets, even on the smallest ones that are around 3 by 2 mil. It's 25 carats. You've ticked off the main 3 checkpoints for Fire Opal, so you've got to be expecting a high price margin bracket on this. You really, really do. You've got everything you could possibly want on this. This for me would be that connoisseur strand, but let's face it as well, you've even got those beautiful, rich, intense colours which are just multi-seasonal. This is going to be spring, summer, but it's also going to be your winter strand as well. Whatever you want to use this for, you've got all 3. Let's face it, when you have got what is essentially an archetypal, beautiful example of a gemstone, that's never going to go out of fashion, is it? Especially when you get it at this price. £34.95. That goes to show you exactly how astonishing this is. I've already got people purchasing it at that price, and you are so, so, so lucky because I'm not staying there right now. I'm not staying there. I should be, but I'm not. Everyone pays the same price. Get yourself on the phone. £29.95 for you on this most exquisite of all gemstones. This is the lowest ever price to you to now. £29.95 for you. It is absolutely exceptional. Lovely, lovely Rachel. What do you think of Fire Opal?
Well, I don't often work with orange gemstones, but when I do, you appreciate how beautiful they are. And, it goes well with carnelian colours and ambers.
Absolutely.
And, the antique bronze goes so beautifully with it, as equally does the gold. They are wonderful tones against the skin to wear, and they are beautifully quality stones, and I like the fact you've got the gradations there. What fun they are. Straight away you've got a piece that's already been organised for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is just so beautiful. Lowest ever seen price. Get it whilst you can, because honestly, all of the things you want to be checking off your list you've got here at just £29.95. Got to move on because I've got loads in baskets, and it's just so, so popular. Oh my lordy. Instantly, I can see the quality of this. As soon as I show you this, you're gonna know that this is special. This is a rarity. Gems of Distinction strand of opal does not happen that often. It really, really doesn't. You're gonna be getting your little congratulations from us when you purchase this next beautiful genuine gemstone strand, and the reason being because, let me just get it out of its pouch. Comes in a little pouch for you. That's because it is such a rarity. Take a look. So this is your purple opal. 45 carats worth of this. Now, purple opal is such a rarity that I thought it would be quite important for me to just give you a little looky look of how purple opal is formed, or it's seen. No? It is hugely, hugely rare. It truly, truly is. It's something that actually I think this is one of the only strands we've ever had of this beautiful gemstone. Now, I really wanted to show you this kind of in the rough, really. So I had a little look around for pictures, and look, there it is in the rough. Now, can you see how the colours you've got in that rough are so, so similar to this? Now, that picture of the rough is actually one of the largest pieces of rough ever found of this gemstone. Now, that's absolutely astonishing, actually, because that's not that large. When we find rough of gemstones, a lot of the time, you can find roughs, huge slabs. That itself is very, very small, but it is one of the largest pieces found as a whole ever before of this gemstone. Purple, opal, you're not looking for your colour play. You can see it in the rough there. That's not what this brings to you. What it does bring is a beautiful, delicate Parma Violet, Cath Kidston kiss of purple. Your price today for a Gems of Distinction strand is just £29.95. I can't believe what we're about to do. This is one of the rarest opals in the world. Even Rachel Norris hasn't seen this. This is only the second time I've ever seen this in my life, and we're dropping it to £24.95. Why are we doing that? We've got so few left. We've got so few of them left. We need you to get your hands on it. We're getting new shipments in. It's a clearance price. That is astonishing. Absolutely treat yourself. What do you think? It's the first time you've seen it.
Well, the comparison is to compare it to something like sage amethyst.
Yes.
Actually, when you look at it, it's got that wonderful base, milky base stone, which I don't think sage amethyst quite has. It's got a different sort of quality to the stone.
You're right.
And actually, the colour doesn't come across on that screen.
No.
It is actually really, really beautiful, delicate mauve violet.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It has got that kind of Parma Violet-y, hasn't it? Body running through it. Please don't say that to me. Don't joke with me right now. I actually feel like I've got a tension headache because I've just had a phone call through from upstairs saying, because so many people are actually trying to get their hands on this, just because there's so many people, we're going to drop it again. £19.90. That's never been seen before, has it? Never been seen before, that price. That is management literally just calling down because they've seen the amount of people who want to get their hands on this, and because they know how few we have left right now. I've got multi-buyers on this. Do not worry for all of you people who bought it at the original sort of 20, what was it originally? £29.95. Don't worry if you bought it for £30. Everybody pays the final price. £19.95. I cannot get over this whatsoever. Get it home to get a beautiful, relaxing tone of your purple at £19.95. VMJN94, that's your code. Get it whilst you can today. Okay, this is the one I was preparing you for. Now, honestly, it is so irritating for me to show you opal of this quality sometimes, because I know what you're going to see. Now, when I worked on Thursday, our producer Danny, and I showed this at the screen, and he was like, no, you went in my ear. No, that's the wrong one. It's the opal we had before. And I was like, trust me, this is the one. He said, it looks totally different. I was like, I know. Today, I've tried to hedge my bets. I've gone all guns a-blazing. I had Ryan outside taking pictures. Me and Helena were stood in the hall. Helena had to get her, as she calls them, man hands out. She was like, do I have to hold? Yes, come on, we've got to get in the shade. I've even been into the workshop earlier on and was like to the ladies, right ladies, 3 words, come on, let's do this. I went in to the workshop earlier on and I showed them the picture that if you're on the website now, you can see. It's kind of a half loop, isn't it? Because I'm about to bring you a double strand now. It's kind of a half loop, isn't it? I got it on my phone, got the website on my phone, went into the workshop and went, can I have 3 words for how we would describe this right now? And they were all just sort of like, oh, how much is it? And I was like, oh, this is the price. They were like, okay. No one could actually come up with 3 words, which was worrying. That was a picture on my phone. I had it in my hand anyway. I then pulled it out and went, what about now? I've never heard so many women go, oh my God, at the same time, genuinely. I then asked for 3 words. I wrote some of them down. The words for this were technical, a dream strand. One person just went, is it real? And I was like, yeah, totally and absolutely natural. Totally natural. She said, please tell me what time this is coming on for you. I said, between about 2:30 and 3:30. She went, I need to be home by then. I will be getting my hands on it. She could not believe it. Another one was lightning in hand. Another one was just extraordinary. Wow. These are the things that people have said about this. Now, I know you're not about to see that, but literally that's all I can do. I can't rip down these horrible lights. I can't come to all of your homes and show you. This is just a trust in me thing. It really, really is. I've taken pictures outside. I'll show those for you in a little bit as well. But just trust me. And you've been taking pictures of this as well. Have you seen this under the camera before?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's completely different there to what you will see in here.
Yeah, it truly 100% is. It's the lights in here that will kill this. This is pinhead, reds, greens, opalescent. This is, if not the best quality, it's either the best one I've ever seen or the top two. I'm going to say top two 100%. I'm likely to say the best, actually. Take a look at this now, times what you see by 100, and you won't even be halfway there. That looks nothing like it does out to the flesh though, does it? To the hand. Let's have a look. Have we got some of those photos that we had? Because this should give you a bit more of an idea. You can see more of the opalescence, that more of the body of colour in this. So this picture here was taken just, of course, you're again seeing it through two screens, aren't you? You're taking it through. Ryan took a picture of it as well. Did you manage to get anything? No, hard, isn't it? It's so difficult, and I cannot describe to you. Yeah, go on. I've got a recording here which is trying to emulate candlelight. Now the body of the stone looks a bit weird, doesn't it? It's a bit of a strange colour on that, but it's just because of the candlelight. But we've got this box which replicates kind of the closest thing we've got to sunlight. Even then you're not quite getting this. I'm gonna bring your price in. Please remember for me, Technicolor Dream Strand, is it real? Lightning in the hand. Your price today for the best quality, £14.95 for you today. That is quality for an astonishing price. Rachel, do you mind just telling us all? Did you see this out there as well?
I didn't actually. I think I was rushing around.
Come on over. You're still not going to be able to see it genuinely because the lights in here are nightmarish.
Yeah, actually, there are peppermint greens. There are peachy, orange, fiery reds. There are actually. You can actually see it. Some of them there. Can you see?
But it's not as intense, is it? I'm wearing horrendous lights here.
It's the peaches and the fiery oranges, the peppermint greens. Oh my goodness, yes, there's some really excellent bits of fire coming out. I don't know whether that's called fire or whatever it is. Rainbows of rainbowness.
It's rainbows of rainbowness. Rachel, you just summed it up with that, love. You really have. Genuinely, you know that I wouldn't lie to you about this anyway, because if I did, we'd just get them all sent back, and then I'd get into loads of trouble because it would be like, well, Becky, you've sold them all, but they've all come back. That's because you've lied. So I'd get tapped for that, basically. So I wouldn't lie to you anyway. It's just not worth my job. But I genuinely am so passionate about Opal. You all know that, especially when it's of this quality. We've got so many of these going, and just let me remind you as well, it's a double length. It's a double length strand. It's almost a meter's worth that you've got here. 85 centimeters for you now. It's absolutely, for me, I'm going ahead and saying the best quality I've ever seen. Honestly, people in the workshop, one woman said, I've never bought Opal before, I'd buy that. The ladies today, honestly, I've never heard a chorus of women go, oh, so much before, genuinely. And the thing was, when I got it on my phone, you could see they were all trying to be really polite, like, how much is that? $14.95. Okay, yeah, right. They couldn't come up with 3 words. Right, okay. And then I showed it. One of the women who was like, how much is that? $14.95. Okay, was then the next one who asked, is it real? And then said, when are you showing it? I need to be home for it because I'm buying it. truly, 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 just get it home. Trust me on this. KXCD97 is your code on this. It is truly, truly, truly wonderful. Love it. Let's get you another goodie. Wait, what? Number. I love that. I love that. Okay, let's be bringing you this beautiful strand now. Oh my goodness, how perfect does this go in my dress? Oh. I absolutely adore opal, as I'm sure you all know. We've shown you a little bit about the formation. I've taught you a little bit about things to look for. Now, this opal that I'm bringing you here is realistically one of your absolute favorites because it is your Peruvian opal. Now, Peruvian opal, again, is one we're looking for totally different effects. With Peruvian opal, a lot of the time, one of the things you want to look for is mottling or banding, essentially. And that is what you have got within here. I love about Peruvian opal that you can almost see the different areas of that liquid percentage. So opal, for you who don't know, opal has got quite a high liquid content to it. That's why nowadays, again, it's used in Feng Shui because it's seen as quite a relaxing, quite tranquil gemstone. It has a really, really high water content. Even though it's obviously a solid gemstone, within each single one of these, you can go anywhere. The minimum percentage of liquid you're going to get in these is around the 3% mark, but that can go all the way up to nearer to 30%. And in Peruvian opal in particular, I feel like you can almost see that in areas. You can almost see these areas of transparency and translucency. And it's like you could see the work and effort that Mother Nature has put in. Another thing with Peruvian is, thinking of those pictures I showed you earlier on of the formation of it, you can see the different areas whereby over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, with the silica, with that water table in the crust rising, and then the summer hitting in and it all evaporating, and then the water table rising again in the winter and evaporating, and that time and time and time again, bringing in and collecting all of these different deposits through the earth, different amounts of silica, different minerals, different filaments throughout the earth crust, taken down over hundreds and hundreds of years. That's why you get that banding. It's as simple as that. It's time and Mother Nature. Your price today for 90 carats of Peruvian opal is astounding. It's yours for just £14.95 today. It is absolutely stunning. I've got loads on here. And lovely, lovely Rachel. Now, faceted drops are something that people really quite enjoy working with. Why do you think that is?
Well, they've got surfaces to catch the light on. You know, you feel you've got a bit more detail to the stone. It is a light reflectivity. So that means it can be worn as an elegant evening gemstone as well as a daytime gemstone, because the facets tend to work really well at night because you're catching lower light levels. With this, I would put some of the Amazonite and pearls in from my challenge bundle. Actually, I would use that with those stones. They would work really, really well together. You could space these pearls beautifully between them.
Oh my gosh, yeah, let me see. That'd be a gorgeous idea.
All the other gemstones actually in that bundle would work absolutely beautifully in it.
Oh, you're completely right.
So put those all together in a piece
like because you've got the right colour palette here. You've got a gorgeous gentle of the pearls, and then you've actually got an opal as well. So of course, I always find gemstones that are the same can tie in quite well, can't they? That is a beautiful selection of ideas. Can I just ask you, opal?
Yes.
It's a gemstone that people know, isn't it? What would you say, when you were maybe much younger, would be your perceived price of opal? Could you imagine you could buy opal for $14.95?
I'd say amongst the precious gemstone levels.
Definitely.
You know, to me, an opal is set in precious metals with that price range.
I haven't played 3 words with you today, and I tell you what, Rachel, Kate, if I play 3 words with you on this now and you get it really, really good, we will give people a prize. Okay? No pressure. 3 words, Rachel, to describe this strand. Now, we haven't played 3 words, I'll explain it. So it can be 3 words like, I just... that wouldn't work. I'm not very good at this game. I love it. Or it could be blue, tranquil, expensive, or whatever. So, 3 words to describe this strand. There's no pressure, Rachel. But
Precious.
if it's good, we're going to do a little gift for everyone out there.
Precious peppermint prettiness. And
You just did alliteration as well with that. You combined my two favourite games. That means we were going to take this to $10.95, but because you've done alliteration, we're dropping it to $9.95 now. Oh my goodness. Hang on, we're dropping it. £10.95 for you. That is absolutely astonishing. This is Margaret, Tina, Jacqueline's getting it all for $9.95. That's what we were going to drop it to. I can't believe that. Well, that's purely down to you. Everyone who's buying this can thank Rachel for that, because we were just going to take it to $10.95. But she had a bit of alliteration in there. We love it. $9.95 for you today. Get it whilst you can. Loads of you coming in for this right now, checking out those baskets at any given opportunity. Oh, look at that code. JM. Are you 26? No, we're 4 years old. We had a birthday not so long ago. Get yourself on the phones for that one. I can squeeze in one more, can I? Yes. Go on, what are we doing? Okey pokes. Oh, beautiful. Lovely, Mike. Are you my director now? Ah, here I am. Just covering a break. Lovely jubbly. I've got a slide for this, if you could find it. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, hang on. Oh, this one. Okey pokey. I haven't got a slide for this one, don't worry. Have a little look at this. These are your ever so pretty boulder opals. There is such a wonderful relaxation of colour, and in fact, if you did get your hands on the Peruvian, that's a lovely colour palette together, isn't it? These are your boulder opal graduated rondelles. They are 4x6 to 9x4. TLRU04 is your wonderful, wonderful code on this today. Do you know what? I know the price. I know it's under £10, so let me get it in for you. Your price today is just £9. Sorry, gonna price drop it to £9.95. You're getting yourself an absolute deal today. I couldn't even hold that in because I know that we're dropping it down. You're getting it today for a tiny, tiny, tiny. It doesn't even want to move. It doesn't even want to change. It's $9.95. There we go. Getting it today. Lowest price, TLRU04 with price slashing on Opal. Why is this happening? I don't know. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. It's a very, very beautiful, tranquil strand for you today. Is this our last one? Okey pokey. Get it whilst you can. It's my last one in my Opal showcase. I know. Sad face. Oh, that was more of a trout face than a sad face. Okay, so we are, say it to me again. This one is split into 3 separate components. Okay. Do you want me to go and get them? Okay, hang on. Oh, it's all right. Cass has just run through, bless her. Hello, love. This one is split into 3 separate sections now. We're going to do your wire first off. Thank you, chicken. Massive amounts of wire here. Absolutely huge. You have got 100 meters of your 1 mil, all in the silver. You have got 100 meters of your 0.6 and you have got 100 meters of your 0.4. So 300 meters worth in total. It's wonderful because you've got your structural, you've got kind of your fine things, your bits and bobs one with the 0.6, perfect for your gizmo and your twist and X-edge. And you've also got 100 meters worth of your weaving wire with the 0.4. Now we have got 300 meters worth of this here for you today. And this is to create these beautiful calla lily effects, which are oh so beautiful. They truly, truly are. Your code today is XVGC96. Your price should be, of course it should. Of course it should be that price. It's 300 meters worth. And not just, you know, low D 025, not just the thinnest wire. You've got chunky monkeys. 1 mil, 100 meters. This is the thickest wire we do in 100 meter spools. Massive. Your price today, though, is just, it's going down. If you love wire work, then you're gonna need to get your hands on this discount. £41.85. 85 pence, because we're taking off every single penny we can. Your saving on this today is really astonishing. It's £41.85 for you today. Design inspiration. It is your Colour Lily silver wire. There's loads of you coming in for it, checking out those baskets for us. £16 saving on this today. XVGC 96. Loads of wire for you there. Lots of goodies. Get your hands on it whilst you can. Are we going over, or are we? What are we doing, love?
Is what I just heard.
Right, okay, Pokey. We're going to go over. So, I'll bring the gemstones with me. I am going to bring these beauties with me. We're going to give you the opportunity, we do this sometimes, we give you the opportunity to buy them separately, because you might already have all the wire, but you want to get the gemstones by themselves, so we're going to bring these on in a little bit. Were these good?
Oh, love, they were a beautiful combination, because I love the pinks and greens together anyway.
Yeah.
And I adore purples. You've got clear crystal quartz just to add a bit of bling, and the beautiful little tiny rose quartz beads. Together to marry these two, all the colours together, just is lovely actually.
Was it
really nice combination?
Is this kind of your colour palette then?
Yes, well it is. I love. Do you know what? I love all gemstone colours. I like working with teals, but I love working with purples. But pinks and greens together are a designer's dream basically, because they work really well together.
Yeah.
And then bring it in the purples and the other colours. Yes, I would say. I felt very harmonious with those colours to work with them.
That's good, because actually I'm just looking at your beautiful outfit now, and you're wearing quite a few of them, aren't you? You really are. Why do you think it is that green just goes so perfectly with pink? Because to me it wouldn't necessarily be the first thought that comes to mind, but what is it that you like about those colours together?
It's the way your eye sees them, it's your brain really telling you that, isn't it?
Yeah,
There's nothing more than that.
Yeah.
You can tell when colours don't work together.
Absolutely.
Your brain will tell you that. When they do, they work well.
They work really well. You've got these 5 beautiful strands actually. These are coming up for you in a little bit. We'll get started with the demo a little bit early, and what we'll do is we'll just take a little break in a moment or two just to get your hands on these gems, but we want everyone to have a chance to get their hands on that silver wire. I've got the green coming up for you in a little bit. We're going to be creating some stunning pieces. Look at these beautiful colour lilies. I love this as a whole collection actually. This to me is, it's not even boutique, it's the type of thing you could see in an art gallery. It's the type of thing you could see really high-end, almost kind of, yeah, it's just so stand out, isn't it?
I love creating pieces with attention to detail, and that's one of the most. I like to try and finish things off. I like to weave well. I like to be proud of it when I've finished making it. Yeah. And it's, I suppose it's my style, isn't it? That's what I like to create pieces that look like that. Perhaps I wish I was 25 years younger and I could walk down the aisle again, because I would love to wear one of those pieces on my wedding day. Oh, to be honest.
Goodness, absolutely agree with that.
I'll try to make a piece that a bride who's not scared of wearing a big flamboyant piece of jewellery could wear, and also a more delicate single lily.
Single pendant.
And because of rose quartz, even though they're large, they're pink, and so they don't look large. They look smaller than they actually are. So they've got the impact of colour, and with the delicacy, despite their size, they're very delicate.
They are. I completely agree.
I thought even with a single lily, it worked well to be able to use those slightly larger rose quartz in there.
Absolutely agree with that. Do keep your texts coming in. We're going to have a little bit of time to ask Rachel any questions. Just let her know what you think of her designs as well. Text number is 60777. Start your text with the word JM Studio. And in fact, Rachel, I haven't asked you this. You can ask Rachel any questions you like, such as, Rachel, favourite subject at school?
Biology and art.
Oh, what a weird...
Well, that's my life.
Oh, I suppose, of course.
Yeah. I ended up being a specialist in vascular ultrasound, and an artist in jewellery making. So that's fine. Those two subjects were perfect for me, biology and art.
That's perfect for you. That's special, isn't it? Do message in today, 60777. Any messages you like that, or jewellery related. So you text the word JM Studio for us. Lovely jubbly. So let's get started. I will interrupt in a couple of moments just to bring the gems, but don't worry, they'll be with you in a bit. Check out your baskets.
I'm going to be really mean because I'm not going to show you how to make these, but they are in addition to my DVD, and I have demonstrated them in other shows before. DVDs, so the clasps are in the Gizmo Basics DVD, and in edition 1, which I think is coming to air sometime today as well.
Yeah, I'm bringing that to you in a little while.
So you can use the 0.6 wire, you can use twisted 1mm wire using wire twisting pliers, or you can buy reels of the twisted wire and use it already to make the sides of the bracelet of the necklace. Just make sure you've got about trying to get the length. Bear with me, I'm just going to measure length for you so you know what sizes to get. Just over 5 inches of this type of coil. And you can use a simple gizmo coil if you feel this is too much for you and you're using up too much wire or something like that.
Yeah. But, I suppose actually with this kit you don't have to worry too much. You've got 300 metres worth, haven't you, in total?
Yes, you have. So it's enormous.
Oh, wild.
So really, if you don't mind, I want to spend the most of the time on the central piece, because that is what I want to give the time to, because that's something we've never seen before.
I love it.
So what we're going to do first is make up a petal shape to make up the lily.
Okay.
And so we need a little bit of 1mm wire.
So we're using the 1mm as the structural.
Yes, as the frame. Yeah, absolutely. So again, within this bundle and kit are so many gauges of wire. There's adventurous use of the green wire, which is absolutely fabulous. And actually, I've tried to use it through those designs to show how it can be very sort of funky and exciting, mixing it with different colours wires, but also you can actually make it look quite elegant, teamed with the silver and teamed with those gemstones to make it suitable enough for a wedding day. So it's a really exciting colour to work with.
The green wire is coming up in a bit as well.
So I probably chose I've cut too short a piece of wire, but you probably need about a 30cm length of wire. Okay. And just start off in the central part and make a little tip. And then what you've got to try and do is make these sides symmetrical. I'm mangling it. I don't know, I think it's because it's hot and my hands are hot.
It
so
is
already
warm
mangled
today,
it.
isn't it?
So just use your fingers. The one advantage of hot wire is that at least it bends beautifully.
Yeah, very true.
Dear. So, and then what you need to do is make a petal shape so these sides are even and not wonky like this. This is dreadful. And once you've made one, you can use it as a template basically, so you can make all your petals the same size. So make one up, don't go on to the next stage, leave it to one side and use it as a template. So what I've done, I made a little curve in here, a little tip there, another little curve, and then I'm bending sharply upwards with the wire, like so, vaguely in the centre, and again you can adjust it by cracking at the wrist there. Oh, that's a bit of a crack at the wrist. And then like that, to make it stand straight up there for the minute, because you don't want that to get in the way. Yeah. Try and bend this at the same level. And again, that's too high, so I've just crushed it a little bit and then squeezed it downwards. We're not bothered too much about marking the wire because we're going to hide it with a weave. It's going to be concealed. This area is going to be concealed. So again, you don't have to be too worried about keeping your wire pristine while you're reshaping it, because it's going to be covered by a weave. I've vaguely got that, so it's symmetrical. Press in on one side and that side, and you've got the general petal outline.
Fab, got you.
Which looks like that, and then you can use a little hammer and a bit of a hammer and a block. Oh, I haven't got my block out, but you get the idea. If you've got a hammer and block at home, or you can use your hammer and your rubber block, just tap on that to work harden it. So it but not too much. Just work harden it a little, just to keep that frame rigid while you're weaving it.
I've actually got the hammer and that rubber block coming up now. Now, I've not actually brought people the rubber block before, so you're the perfect person to have on with me. Tell me about this. Tell me about the rubber block.
Well, it's a way of work hardening a wire without flattening it.
Okay.
And you can place it either under your steel block, or you can work against it. But you basically can put it under your steel block. Basically, it absorbs the impact and stops it
being so noisy.
Yeah, and stops it flattening the wire so much.
So it just changes the internal condition of the wire.
Yes, yes, it does.
That's
and
wonderful.
It's less of a resonating impact. I suppose there's less of such a shock or a kickback against it. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that's.
And could you actually use this if you just had that block already? Could you actually?
Yes,
you know, a bit like the wire whacker.
Yes, I've got one of those,
the
wire whacker as well. And again, you're using it to. Again, you probably need to work against another hard surface,
like a block,
like the steel block against it,
yeah.
and then you can whack against it and all of those sort of things.
That's fab, isn't it?
It's a great additional piece of kit, and you can put it in your toolbox. It's not that heavy. You can just put it in.
Yeah, it's not actually, unlike the steel block,
the
which
steel
is
block
like. So you've got your rubber block, you've got your chase hammer that has the flat end and the domed end. You can use, the flat ends, for example, to work harden the domed end to add a little bit of texture, a bit of a vintage feel. But you can use either side for lots more as well. I've also got some wire in here. You've got turquoise wire in the 0.4, and you have got the golden coloured wire in the 0.6. All of this for you today should be £17.30. Order.
So Alison's scarab is made. You know Alison's beautiful scarab that she made? She made it with gold and the turquoise.
With the gold and the turquoise colour, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, you're absolutely right.
So
price though, it's dropping. I'm hammering it down. £9.95. Should have been nearly £18. £9.95. Get it whilst you can. Your hammer with your block and 2 wires. £9.95. Should have been nearly 18. That's ridiculous. Nearly half price. Love that. Right, we're back with you, lovely Rachel.
Now, once you've got the petal, you need to start attaching for the weave. And again, I use a really long length. I probably end up using about fingertip to fingertip.
Okay.
I'm using half the length just for the demonstration purposes. And then what you do is start in the middle of the wire and just do a couple of wraps around both sides at the top in a kind of figure of 8, really, I suppose you call it, around this frame, just to bind it together. So that's now bound together.
Okay.
Bring the wire across the top, and again, don't worry about it, sort of where it sits, because again, you're going to hide this to the weave, and start wrapping along the edge in tight concentric wraps around, not concentric, consecutive wraps around the side of the frame, pushing them together. You don't want any gaps. The way you can do is push together your fingernails, and if your fingernails aren't liking that and you're damaging them, you just use your chain nose pliers just to squeeze those together. And do that on the other side. You're going to just jump a stage until you reach, you can see the actual length I've used, okay?
Yeah.
Until you reach this point on either side.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is just undo this little bit of wire, and in fact actually going to be really naughty and snip it, because
you mischievous thing. We'll let you. To you, Rachel, it's fine.
Because I don't want to use a bit of a kink at the wire at the end. And we're going to start to just weave down, weave along. Now, with the distances we've got a short distance across here, so you've not got very much space that we can fill. No. We've got about 3 times the distance to the end there. So the ratio of the weaves has got to be 3, at least 3 to 1. And in fact, actually, I ended up using 4 across the top here to 1 or 2 here.
I see.
So otherwise, you're going to end up with you're going to run out of space here when you weave.
Yeah.
So again, with the first weave down, bring the wire. Again, it's very similar to the way we did the cat, just a larger sort of space we're going to traverse. Hold this, I'm going to flip this over, hold this quite tight, hold the frame tight, bring the wire around so that it sits really, really close, bring it around once and twice, close to the base of that weave that wrap down. This is just travelled out, so use your fingernails just to tuck it in place. Bring it back, because it's coming over the top of this frame, you bring it to the base of or the underside of this frame, and then I'm going to swing my fingers around so they're holding the side of here, push the wire down against that side, and then do, what I always manage is to just to nip the pliers up and everything, 4 wraps around there.
Okay.
And again, I'm using the really long bits of wire just to show you what you're working with. So take your time, try not to let it tangle. So 4 times around that, and then bring the wire back up to the top again. So you're going to continue, and you can go once, and that back down again, and continue this traversing weave up and down, because you're going from a small distance to a large distance. It's quite an easy weave to go. Stop when you reach that middle section, and take the wire up between the middle of the wires here and finish off. And with the other side, you can traverse along the other side doing that weave.
So it's mimicking it, really, isn't it?
Yes, so basically that's what you do, is you carry on doing that, traversing along. Just make sure the most important thing you do is...
That's the effect you're going for.
That's the effect you get, yes. Is keep, it doesn't matter about anything about the tidiness here, because we're going to hide it.
Okay, brilliant.
But you've got to make sure this bit is neat and this bit is really neat. So try not to have too many gaps between the wire at the base here, because those are the bits that are going to be on show.
Yeah, those are the bits you can see, aren't they?
Yes. So I've got some wire left over. I don't think I use it later on, but I'll keep it for the minute. And I think you can either cut it off, because, no. Leave one long length at least, because you're going to use it to make the stamens. So don't cut it off yet like a numpty. Okay, which I was going to do. So leave that alone. I'm going to use that later on to assemble the flower. Okay, wonderful. That's to add on the gemstones, isn't it? So now we're going to make the outer sort of, now I didn't do botany. The outer bit, the top bit that kind of is like a leaf casing to the top of the petal.
Yes, I know what you mean.
So take a little short length of wire and make a fan shape. Little short, this beautiful green wire, make a little fan shape in the wire. So I'm curving it, making a little bend with the chain nose pliers, and you've just got to make sure it's wide enough to fit across your petal. I tried to gauge it. I did a practice one. Basically, as long as this fan shape is a little bit larger, that's the relative distances of this fan shape to the petal. I see what you mean. That will work.
It's, say, you know, 1/2 mil on either side larger.
Maybe 2 or 3 mil actually.
Yeah.
Either side larger than there, and that will work. And the top bit is a little bit smaller, but a little bit smaller than the top of the petal, and that will work. It's quite difficult to give you distances when your petal might be a little bit different to mine, but it's shaped.
But Mother Nature works in that way anyway, doesn't she? They're all a little bit different.
Just when you fold it round, you need to make sure there's enough to fold
absolutely fold it around.
But have a look on again on Facebook, there's pictures of all the stages. So again, you can print them out, use them as templates, and make them up. So again, little fan shape. Again, I'm not being beautifully consistent, but make 6 of these and 7. If you're making the full design, make 7 of these and 7 of the petals. And that's the chartreuse in the 1 mil, which I'll bring to you now, 10 metres worth. Now, how was the chartreuse to work with? It works perfectly with your designs. It holds its colour really, really well. It's a lovely fresh colour. If you twist it and combine it with copper or antique bronze wire, it works absolutely beautifully. And I've used the peridot green pearls maybe with a twist of antique bronze and the green, and it looks absolutely beautiful, really beautiful.
Yeah.
So that wire will work really well with the green.
I love that. What a good tip.
Yes, and I've twisted the copper and silver and the green all together, and they make a beautiful mix. So it's a wonderful combination colour, because on its own it can have a little bit too much impact, but I find if you take it back, bring it back,
down a bit,
use it with other colours, and it works really well as an accent colour. So that's what I use it for.
So you've got your 1 mil and 10 metres of 1 mil, and you've got 100 metres of your 0.4. To be fair, pretty perfect pairing, isn't it? Your structural and your weaving wire, and a great ratio for it as well. Your price today should be £19.40. Bear in mind that takes into account any price reductions we've already had on it. That's our current price, £19.40. Your price today, though, for both is just £11.95. That's £7.45 saving on these for you today. Get it whilst you can, because realistically, to do this colour lily look, that green is beautiful. It accentuates it, doesn't it? It really, really does. £11.95 for you for 110 metres worth today.
So you do basically, you use the 0.4 wire and do a weave to fill this little sort of fan shape. Basically, I used a similar ratio. I just wanted to make sure that it was quite dense, the weave, because I'm folding it around later on. I don't want it to spread out too much. And so I've got a 3 to 4 wraps here relative to 1 or 2 here, and I try and keep it down to a minimum, these wraps here, ending up with the middle wire coming up through the middle of the fan shape.
Okay.
Next we're going to start to assemble and make the lily flower. Now if you want to make the pendant, make sure these wires are nice and long, because you can use these to make a bail if you want a single lily on its own.
So that's like you've done here?
Yes. So you don't have to make it up into the big piece. You can make one single lily, and you make these two top wires into a bail. Now Laura's shown many times, I've shown how to make bails. So you can make a simple bail and make your lily up as a pendant. So please do that. I just won't have time to do that today for you, if you see what I mean, because we're going to be doing other things.
If you have a look back on our Jewellery Maker YouTube, I'm sure you'll be able to find one on there if you want to.
Yes. You know, then that's not too. If you make one lily and you think I haven't got time to make 7, you can still do the design and make it up into a pendant.
Make it into a pendant.
Yeah. Now, what am I doing? I'm going to make little stamens before we do it. Oh no. Yeah. I'm going to shape this first. I do know what I'm doing.
So you're shaping the cat lily first.
Yes, shaping it first. So I don't really want this silver wire, all of it, but I'm going to leave some of it for the stamen. So I'm going to bring one through the centre, and then again get this rid of this one out of the way, because I don't want all of it. I have chosen a mixture of the little rose quartz and some of the beautiful faceted white quartz to use with it. Again, what I wanted to do was make a lower stamen. So I should have got these out earlier.
It's all right. We'll show you the ones that
yes.
lovely Rachel's getting out now. It's these rose quartz that I'm bringing to you, and it's your faceted quartz here. These are the two we're using for the stamen, isn't it?
Yes, a really beautiful combination. Absolutely beautiful stone. They're beautiful. The white quartz are beautiful quality.
Really clear, aren't they?
And you can see the internal reflections there. I can anyway from where I am standing.
Absolutely.
So imagine the faceting that's gone into making those individual little tiny stones. The work that's gone into them.
It is amazing, especially with the sizing on there. 4 mil to facet a 4 mil, then be able to get a drill hole through there. They're perfectly eye clear. They truly are. That's pairing with those beautiful, really delicate, just kiss of colour on the rose quartz here that we have. These are the two we're using for the stamen. I'm going to bring you the other strands, which we'll show you all about later on. Again, these are 4 mil, just to let you know. I've got 45 carats worth of your green peridot in these plain bicones, which realistically are just working gorgeously with the colour palettes, aren't they, of this wire. You've then got those larger rose quartz, which are the 10mm, which were the ones that Rachel so eloquently put earlier on. They might seem large here, especially in comparison, but actually when you've used them, they're not.
No, because they are so delicate in colour. It belies their size. You don't notice the size. You're just looking at the impact of very delicate gemstones.
Absolutely. We've used plenty of them on that single pendant one as well. And you've also got your purple coloured quartz, 255 carats worth of these. And this is the one that I've got to say, when I saw this strand with that chartreuse, I thought, wow, that's impactful. I would never have thought of putting those together, but they were.
Wimbledon colours, but actually purple and green are really nice colours combination.
They're gorgeous, aren't they? All 5 strands, some of them large, some of them bright and colourful, some of them small, delicate and just with little hints of colour. You've got a real variety here. Stash topper up works perfectly with Rachel's designs. Your price should be £25.75, which is actually stunning for 5 strands of genuine gemstones. That's amazing, especially as I saw an agate bracelet on Gems the other day for that price, just a bracelet. £19.95, so is your actual price point today. That is absolutely stunning. £19.95. I saw this beautiful agate bracelet the other day. It wasn't this colour, it was a red one on our Gems TV, our sister channel, and it was so popular, it nearly sold out. It was absolutely manic. It was a gorgeous bracelet, really beautiful, but that was actually at the original price of this kit. Yeah, it was with, of course, you know, clasps, etc. But you're getting the whole kit and caboodle today for £19.95. Treat yourself whilst you can. Designer inspiration for Rachel's Calla Lily gemstones. Get them whilst you can.
Thank you.
Lovely jubbly. So we're adding on the statement that we have now. We've got all of our goodies now. You've got all of your bits now.
I finally sorted myself out. Right, so what I'm going to do is bend with the flat nose pliers. This is a scary bit, okay? But it's all right, it'll be fine. So using the flat nose pliers, just bend round the top of the calla lily, gripping fairly tightly so that you don't slip, and you're just moving it in slow, gentle movements round. Don't crush too hard though, it's a kind of delicate balance, but you can see I'm just moving it around slowly and then moving with my fingers. Then stroke the calla lily into shape with your fingers. Some of them, you're starting to see the shape of it. Some of these little wires will come out of place because you're distorting the frame. So gently push them back into place with your pliers. Yeah. Spend a bit of time just pushing them back in, and they do. They've smoothed back into place, and you see the calla lily looks like a proper calla lily now. That's just separated a little bit, but what I'll do is push that down because I'm going to be hiding some of that. So if you do feel that happens, just push it into place. Okay. Next we're going to do is the tiara twist technique. You see, all again, these are really basic techniques. You've got a basic weave, you've got tiara techniques. None of these are really complicated techniques to use. And I'm going to use a short length, probably just to where it starts opening out. I've threaded the gemstone on, and then wrap round once, and then come out through the centre wires and pull tight, and then twist that. You could wait until the end to twist them, just to make sure they're all the same length, but it's not, we don't have to be completely rigid about this. No. You can have, and I've just twisted my fingers just to get that twist. Again, I'm going to put the rose quartz on next, and I'm going to make this one a little bit longer. Bend it down to the centre of the flower, taking it a little bit longer. Yeah, thanks. And then round the top of the flower, and then back in through. I've left this long just to be able to talk about the bail, but when we're making a bail for a pendant, but when we're making the lilies for the necklace, we don't need this bit of wire so long. Okay. Just to let you know. Tiara twist using your fingers into place, and the last little stamen goes on. I've twisted the wire a little bit at the top, so what I'm going to do is just cut the end.
Little bit of a kink.
Yeah, cut it off, so you don't have to force yourself to work with a damaged bit of wire. Just cut it back off, and then you can use with a fresh bit. It's easier to thread on. Yeah. Take this back to more or less the same length as the other little quartz, like that. Round and through the centre. pull down, and that's locked into place there. Probably haven't got it quite as long, but it doesn't matter, it's not the end of the world. And now I'm just going to get rid of this little bit of wire now. I don't really need it.
Okay.
Okay.
Snipping that off.
Yeah. Next, we're just going to take the little fan of wire that we have and just bending that to one side. Again, scary moment, we're going to bend it into shape.
Again, a bit of a scary bit.
Gripping, trying to grip along the whole length really of the actual frame.
So this time you're gripping at the largest point, aren't you?
Yes, yes,
the kind
exactly.
of base, whereas before you were
and then
dealing more
twisting,
tip.
exactly, twisting it around so it's forming like a little cloak
Okay.
or a cape. Put this in, and this so soft, the wire in here, because it's so hot. This I'm going to trim because you don't need it so long for a necklace, but this is the length you'd need to make up a bail.
Okay.
I've just left that for you, so I'm just going to trim that back off.
Okay.
Because we're making a necklace up with it. And insert this into the little cloak of green wire, so that it's not at the top, but about midway down.
Okay.
And pull around. This is a bit where you think it might not fit, but do you know what? It will. Pull it round.
It's got to be a bit forceful.
Yes, and it will fit into place. Next thing we've got to do is secure this all into place. But you can see how that started to
already
form a cloak and the top of the flower.
Yes, I see.
Next thing we're going to do is make all the detail and secure everything in place now. This goes, fold the two green wires around the side, these out to the side at the top, because eventually actually we're just going to spiral these down. And we are going to just wrap a bit of the green wire. In fact, I take them both together and wrap around both the silver wire and the green once, figure of 8, across the front, another time, you can do it again.
Around the silver.
And the green.
Then around the green.
Like a little figure
of
8
motion.
And that'll stop this rotating.
Oh, good tip.
Okay.
It locks it in a way.
In place. That won't rotate anymore. Before it would rotate inside its little casing.
Okay.
Now you've got you should have 2 nice long wires. If not, you add on a bit at this stage if you feel they're not going to have enough. And here I've mangled it so badly, so forgive me, I wouldn't be able to do everything with it, but we'll have to work with it. Now take one wire to one side, another wire to the other side, and start to take wraps around the sides of these green side portions of the flower, which I've slightly bent round so it looks like that. And this one to the same level. And then I'm going to do, and this is optional, you can use whatever gemstones you like, but I thought a little sort of string of these little quartz to almost look like beads of dew or whatever, to run down the front of this would be brilliant, and it also helps lock all this into place. So what I've done, I'm going to use the least amount of mangled wire, so I'm going to wrap round down this a lot further than the other side. And with this one, I'm going to bring a piece of quartz onto the wire and bind it to the front, like so. Pass it underneath, back, once, pull tight, and then continue to wrap down, and that will lock into place. Can you see what I've done?
Yeah, I see exactly what you mean.
Yeah, and then push up with your fingernail, and that locks that stone into place. That's not going anywhere. In fact, it makes a really strong structure.
Yeah.
I do try and make my jewellery quite strong
You
pieces.
want that, don't you? If you're creating something,
But
you
it's
don't
going to
want
be worn.
that's
You've got toddlers that might tug at it, or things, or you might just put it down a bit roughly or whatever, and you've got to make sure that it will last.
Something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, I've left a little bit of gap there. I wouldn't normally tolerate that. I'd make sure that I'd wrapped up enough to that level. I wouldn't really normally like that, so don't leave a gap like that. It's not good.
Okay.
So again, wrap down to the next level. I'm going to put another quartz on. what we'll do is then move to the next stage. Have we got timings or anything? So I know
yes,
where I am?
Absolutely. You've got half an hour from now.
Well, that's all right. That's good.
Just to let you know that the bit we're doing, just for a little recap, if anyone's just tuned in, we're just doing this section here now on these calla lilies. It's just that little bit there. Good. So it's this section here that we are weaving on. You see that? Yeah. Cool.
Then I threaded on another quartz, and I've wrapped down this side quite a way. And then you can either, there's several ways you could do this. You can either pass it through the front of this little green section, or just pass it underneath the wire that you're, the two sort of dangly wires, what they're called, little, there's a botanical term for little green swirly things on the side of plants and things. Tendrils, that's the word.
Tendrils, yeah, oh, it was on the tip of my tongue.
Tendrils. And so just attaching again to the other side. So passed over, again I've left a gap, which is really, really bad. Try not to have a gap. Push up, there we are, push up with your pliers to try and get rid of that gap. And then keep on going if you can, you don't want the gap. And then, if you can see what I'm doing, wrapping down this one, probably until you leave about 2 centimetres at the end. I'm going to trim this one off.
Okay.
I'm going to add another couple of little gemstones, and then we twirl down to make the details, and then you'll finish your flower. Nearly there with the flower. So that's got rid of that. Make sure you cut it in, no sharp edges. Stroke it round to actually smooth that off. A couple more little quartzes to add, and you can add 3 or 4 depending on the size of your flower. You can see it just adds a little bit of extra detail, makes it look like a gemstone piece of jewellery to be worn, because you've got that extra bit of sparkle.
I know exactly what you mean.
Again, I really
can't wait to make this home later, Rachel.
Thank you. I'm really not happy with the fact I've left gaps, but try and avoid them. Yeah, I wouldn't do this normally. And then back down, another quartz across. Nearly there. And then we're going to finish. And then just finish off the flower with a few twirls either side.
Okay.
Nearly there. Sorry, it went quiet because I was concentrating.
No, don't worry. I think we're all just kind of falling into what you're doing. I just feel mesmerised. Like, oh,
that's all right. So trim close, get rid of the wire, tuck in, and then we're just going to finish off these calla lilies to make them look pretty. So we will also want to make an area to attach. So this is quite a good area to attach the calla lily to things, and this is going to be an area for detail, for trim. So make sure these are vaguely the same length actually before you trim them. That's about the right length. And then the JM round ones, I'm just going to use these round little.
You round those pliers.
Again, my technique, which I do, because it's quite difficult often to get the little circle right. These are lovely fine tip pliers actually. Can you see that looks like a pea? With an oval loop, take it into a circle loop. You just take off that straighter edge, and then when you curl, you'll get a circle rather than an oval.
That's a good tip.
And then curl it back. And I have actually used a slightly longer length with these ones. And I've also curled the top of the lilies. Oops.
Got you.
Like so.
I see. Yeah.
Okay. Squidge. And then. So then we can move on to making the frame at the back. And again, I'll probably only be able to show you. We'll see what we can do.
Do you mind if I show the back?
No, not at all actually, that'd be brilliant.
I know that I didn't even need to ask you that, because without even looking, I know, yeah, it's like a work of art on the back. Look, so this is the back frame kind of that we're going to work for. Isn't that? My director has just gone, oh, that is ridiculous.
Well, what it is originally, I've got a major confession to make. It was meant to be an asymmetric design with the, which you can do. It was eventually, it was meant to, I haven't got the drawing here, meant to be a cascade of cannellis coming down one side with a slightly longer side on that, a shorter side on that side.
I see.
Couldn't get it to sit right, so I had to twist the frame. I'd already made everything up. I had to take the cannellis off, twist that frame into place to make it a symmetrical design.
Symmetrical,
so that is why those loops aren't the same size. So
which
I've got
you
to fess
can't
up
even
to that
tell
one.
at all, can you?
And I did 5 leaves instead of 6 because I might have probably done 6 leaves if it was a symmetrical one.
I see.
So I had to sort of change it at the last minute because it wasn't working. But I feel I'm happier about showing that off as a symmetrical,
piece.
Cascade of cannellis.
Yeah,
so
I see.
That's what I did. Just to tell you why. So when you see on the internet later on, all these loops aren't the right size, the reason was it was going to be a completely different design.
That's why.
And I had to make it into something else.
When Rachel pointed that out earlier on, we were like, what? Where is that? I can't even see.
Because I know what process I went through. Now, we are going to make, if I get things out, a little backing frame.
Okay.
It's got a smiley, happy backing frame.
Oh, smiley face.
It also looks like a little sort of frog, but it looks like this. That's what we're going to try and end up with. In fact, actually like this.
That way.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
With like bean pod leaves and anchor points to anchor the cannellis on, and a strong, fairly strong structure, and some nice areas to curl and swirl and add detail. And you might notice there's 3 bits on this side and 1 bit on that side. And what I did is add another bit of wire on that side actually to make 3 more bits, and wound down with 0.4 wire and things like that. So to balance it up. Now to start it off, you take a long piece of 1mm wire, probably not quite fingertip to fingertip, but almost about a metre.
Yeah, it looks around a metre to me.
And a very short, much shorter length, about 30 centimetres of wire. And just start to make the frame up. Again, you need a piece, quite a long length of 0.4mm wire to start weaving. And now I'm not going to use a long length because again we're on air.
Yeah. For this bit, could you work off the reel or not particularly for this?
No, and it doesn't matter, add it in if you have to, it's not the end of the world. So with this, starting at one end of the longer piece of wire, you're going to make a little bit of a loop. Just putting that there so I know what I got. And use the chain nose pliers and make a little loop, like so. And this goes down like that. With the other shorter piece of wire, you're going to make an internal, just check I do the right thing. Yes, an internal loop inside this one. If the worst comes to worst, you bend it round. Just make sure that is a bit sharper than that. It's a bit too round. Bend with the chain nose pliers, and then just fit it inside. And again, you can do whatever you like to form this. You could bend it round a mandrel, or there's bell making pliers on the largest setting, for example. Again, I'm being really stupid with this. Just take a bit of time.
If you had to say bail making plier, could you do it?
Yeah, on two different sizes.
Yeah.
So you can actually fit it in. This isn't the right where you think that, oh gosh, she's never used wire before. And no, there we are. So try and make sure that this fits inside the other loop. Spend a bit of time and just make sure that that fits inside. Again, it will eventually do what you want it to do. Now I'll turn it around, sorry. It's just because I haven't shaped it properly. It's no good showing anyone at the moment because it's not shaped properly. So I'll do it in a second. And then again, make sure, spend a bit of time to make sure that actually fits inside the other loop. Okay, and make sure that looks a little bit better than that. There we go. So make sure that fits inside the other loop just like that, and then start to weave.
Okay.
That should be rounder and neater and looking more beautiful than that, but I haven't made it, so
it's still pretty beautiful, but we know what you mean. So it's that section that we've just done here, so we'll do those two like we've just shown you there.
And then the weave I've used is a similar weave to one I've used in pendants and things like that. Again, use a really long piece of wire, about, let's say you can use one that's about 2 meters long, and start with a meter, just under a meter to weave around this loop, and the rest to weave along the top part of the frame. So sorry, it's not showing. I just need to attach it first. I can show you what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3 around both sets of wire, and then once around just the outer, and then 3 times again, another time around the outer, another time around the outer. Okay, push them together. Once you've got this started to lock together, then you can carry on doing your 3. 1. Am I showing it properly? I'm really not. Sorry.
Yeah, we can see it perfectly.
Sorry.
We can see it absolutely perfectly.
See me making a hash of it.
Just want to let you know, I'm nearly selling out actually of the, that silver wire is nearly gone, so if you add it in your basket, really important you check it out.
Especially that point, for the 0.4 is beautiful to work with. It's a lovely wire. And then lock it into place. Every time you do the 3 round both, look at that, that's crossed over, so try not to. 1, 2, 3 around the outside. Push it tight against the other, and then really try, a bit harder than I'm doing, just to make sure these 3 wires that go, 3 wraps around both wires lie really flat against each other and don't cross over. So to spend a bit of time, if you do find they're crossing over, go back, take them back up and do it again.
Okay.
And then loop all the way around, or weave all the way around until you reach the end.
Okay.
Okay. All right, like that, but weave all the way around to reach the other end of the loop. I'm going to take this away and start talking you through, because this is too long a piece to really work with on air. It's not very good. So let's
take your eye out. You don't need that, do we? Yeah.
So what I've done is I've done this weave all the way around this loop.
Yeah.
And then carried on with the end of the wire and hand wound all the way along this loop.
Okay.
And then you can either add in more wire and do the same technique of weaving around this side. Okay. But if you want to save time, on the small gizmo rod, I've actually showed you the difference between the two. That's a hand wound piece of wire, and that's actually a gizmo wound on the small gizmo rod.
The smallest
gizmo
one.
coil, yes.
Oh, yeah.
On the 5 mandrel.
Yeah.
And then you can just put it.
Deluxe.
Yes. And you can put that. You can thread them on if you want to save time.
That's
so there's
good.
2 ways of doing it.
That's handy, isn't it? In fact, I've got the gizmo coming up for you right now, which is the deluxe one. In
Brilliant.
fact, the deluxe one's the one with the 5 mandrels. Now, is this the one that you have?
This is the one I have, and it's got the clamp. It's absolutely fabulous. Do you want me to show you some techniques with it? And
yeah, absolutely. That'd be amazing, actually, if you could. So this is what we're giving you the chance to get your hands on right now. It is your deluxe coiling gizmo. You have got the clamp in here, you've got all of those different size of your mandrels. If you're into your chainmail, this is absolutely perfect, because it even has the chainmail diameters on the back for your internal diameter on your chainmail, running right from internal diameter of the 1.2 mil on the really small one to an internal diameter of 1.5 on the really large one. So everything you see there, you're getting. We'll have a little look, because Rachel, I know you do love this tool.
Well, I've used it for really since JM asked me to specialise in gizmo work.
Yeah.
I've had fun with it, basically. It's a lovely fun tool to use. It saves a lot of time. You get excellent, very neat results with it, and a very professional look. You can make so many things with it.
Yeah.
So it's a fabulous tool for your toolbox.
For your
You
toolbox.
can make jump rings with it, and many, many different designs with the coils. So
it's so beautiful.
Really
Get your hands on it today. Your price for this is a tiny £7.95. This is the example of the gizmo, and we're going to show you how to use it now.
So what I've done to attach the wire, you wrap it round the rod or the sort of the mandrel handle with the wire in front of you so you can control it.
Okay.
Can you see it all?
Yeah, we can see it perfectly. We're at the right angle.
I'm going to just literally.
How quickly that builds up.
Make sure that
really
doesn't scratch
impressive,
well.
isn't it?
Just going to wind it, and you can wind very, very quickly like that, and you'll still get really neat results. If you find you're separating out, just push it back in.
Easy peasy.
Okay. If you find you're crossing over, just rewind it and then start again.
That's so simple, isn't it?
Just literally go like that, just sort of to make your coil neat.
If you were to do that by hand, oh my goodness.
I know. Now, next thing I'm going to do, I've threaded on a coil already onto this wire. Yeah. And we're going to show you how to make a coiled coil.
Okay.
Okay. So then what you do is hold the coils tight onto the really push it up with your thumb and forefinger tight, and then start to wind, and look how beautiful that is.
Oh my gosh, isn't that gorgeous?
You can make this a different colour wire, you can put wires in between, you can spread them out, put beads in them, they're absolutely fabulous. And then you wind that along, and we're going to take that off and make a triple coiled coil.
You've just been called a magician by 2 people in the gallery with that. Wow, I've never seen them do that before.
Oh, do you know, the real magician is Debbie B with the polymer clay, and she's like a magician, sleight of hand, you know, she's like cutting cards, you know, when you
sleight of hand.
It's like a poker player with it. And then what you do then is just cut that off. Now, some people have a problem getting this off the mandrel. There's several ways you can do it. The wire can sometimes dig into the steel. I mean, that's what it is, really. Make sure that you take the coil down from the end of the handle, because that bit can get stuck. Okay. When you grip near this end, grip along the whole coil, and you can twist to get it off.
So a little shimmy off.
Yes. Fab. And rubbing a candle on the mandrel before you use it will help as well. Right. Now I'm just going to make a coil with a piece of 1mm back on here. Coil. 1mm on here.
So
onto the mandrel.
Going back on.
This is going back on.
So the 1mm's just gone through the inside of the piece we've just done.
Yes. And make sure that both ends of these little coils are about the same. Okay. This is where I'm just, and then a couple of wires. Wraps just to secure. Okay. Push this up, start to wind, you'll get the first coil. It looks like you're, you know, and then move it away from the mandrel slightly, just to give yourself a bit more space. Yeah. And then you make your coil.
Oh my gosh!
And then back pull quite tight at this point because you don't want it sort of lifting up. And then another wrap round, and you're done with that. And that's a beautiful spacer for a necklace, part of a bracelet. It's a really easy peasy thing to do. You can wrap wires, again, other coils and wraps of beads or anything in between them.
You know, we were talking earlier about those 2 animals you were thinking of making at a later date. Do you remember the second animal we discussed?
Yes.
That kind of looks like the second animal's...
Yes, there's lots of different things. Yeah, lots of different ways you can make that one.
It's amazing. I love that.
That's a little coil.
How easy peasy is that? There's loads of you with this in your baskets. Oh, check out, seriously, because this is absolutely flying with that amazing demo. Thank you for that, Rachel. You're an absolute love. I think Ben's worked on this channel. How long have you worked on this channel, Ben? 2 years, and he's never seen anyone use it like that before. He was like, whoa, magician!
I did slip it onto the 3rd DVD because I tried to put as many different techniques on there, and I sort of was a bit naughty and just put extra ones on, and it was one of the ones I sort of slipped in there as an extra technique. So it is on one of the Gizmo DVDs as well if you've got it. So with this, I've made this frame up, 2 loops, little bits of extra wire, and we're ready to make one of the little bean leaves. So nice long bit of wire, and you do need a piece of the 0.4 to start with. I'm just going to wrap that around to keep it out of the way. Okay, using the chain nose pliers, just make a little leaf pod shape. Okay. And just make it vaguely about the right size. Again, I may not be able to. If we do run out of time, all we need to do is bind the flowers onto the frame, just by the way, so in case we didn't have time for it, with bits of wire. There's a little leaf pod shape, and I didn't want to make them too sort of sharp because it'd be so tempting to make these sharp shapes, but we wouldn't be able to fit gemstones into the base of them.
Yes.
So I made them round shapes at the top. Don't go in too much to make a pointy, don't go too narrow here because you won't be able to fit the beads in, so the peridot in. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and shape this so you can see it, and then bring that back up, ready to form another zigzag for the frame. So that's going to form your leaf. Next thing we're going to do is thread some peridot on. I'm going to take a little bit of time doing that, Becky. So have you got anything else to bring to?
Absolutely, I always do for you. What are we going to do now, love? Yeah, let's do this.
All I've done is wrap around the top of the leaf once or twice, and then bring it up through the top of the leaf, and then I'm going to thread on some peridot and bring it down to the base. And I'll do that while you're waiting, while you're
okie dokes, beautiful. Now I'm going to bring to you, what, Helena? Wire twister tool, the one we did earlier on. Recapping on it, is it? Yes. So I'm going to bring to you now the wire twister tool, the 6-inch ones, because there's few of you who got it before, but there's loads more of you back in now. This is your wire twisting tool. Now, this is the one, essentially, it's so simple to use. It truly, truly is. And the effect you get, essentially, is a twisted wire. And in fact, it's this type of tool, Rachel has the slightly larger one, that Rachel has used in between the gizmo coils here to create these beautiful wrap details.
But that size tool is absolutely beautiful, and it will work with this heavy twisting.
With this heavy
yes,
twisting.
It'll easily work.
This tool, you can go way up the gauges, easy peasy to use, you know, your 8mm, your 1mm even on this. You can get multiple strands in here, not just 2 to do a twist. You could go way up there, as many, depending of course on the size of the wire you're working with. You will be able to work with this. Essentially, all you have to do is you will place your wire through here. As you release the handle itself, that will then link it in as you pull down this centre section. That kind of locks it into place in a sense.
You don't even have to do that though.
Come on.
Because
this is why you've bound yours,
bound the
haven't
handle
you?
so they never open,
Yeah.
and you just use that gap. Make a loop in your wire.
Just use that
And
section.
loop the wire through, loop it round, and then twist what you've looped through.
That's so simple,
I can
isn't it?
quickly
And then
show
how
you
do you
the-
release that wire then?
Cut it with a pliers.
Oh, so you cut it?
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, let's get you priced. £14.95 for you on this today. You simply pull down this bottom section. The tool itself will twist, so take your hands away from it at that point. The tool itself will twist, which then, of course, tips the wire. The wire, not tips it, twists the wire. And then you have got everything all as you need it. This is yours at £14.95 today. It's a bargain price for your 6-inch wire twister tool.
Do you want me to show you how to use it, or are you all right today?
It's up to you. What do you think, director and producer? It's their decision. It's not me. It's not me.
I'll do a very quick one.
All right.
If you want me to.
Yeah, lovely. Go ahead. So this is using the 1mm, isn't it?
You've got no choice now, have you?
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
going to steam in there and do it. So 1mm, just wrap a loop through the end of your pliers. Okay, and then I've used a really short length, okay, because normally you can twist like 3 meters worth at a go. All I've done is made a tight knotty loop, like
Right.
so, through the ends.
Yeah.
Bound that forever. And then this
Forever.
one,
Bound it
you can
forever.
attach to a doorknob, really strong hook, a clamp. And if you're going to use one of these, lock it into place with, I just lock it into place with one of these or something.
So you gizmo.
Okay, like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and make sure it doesn't go out of the way.
Yeah.
That is really short. And then just pull the end like a spinning top.
Yeah.
You might have to hold that clamp so it doesn't come off.
Yeah.
And you can see, these
Twisting that
handles
wire.
aren't going to open now because I bound it in place.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about it, because I think that's what people have been having a problem with.
Yeah.
And then
And look
these
how quick
pliers
that
will work
twists it.
forever like that.
And then to get it off,
You just let's pretend that's twisted enough. Because
Yeah,
you
that's-
can really twist it.
and you can do it as much as
yes.
you want,
All you
can't
have
you?
to do-
You just snip it there.
Snip it, and it does come out. I know what it was. Snip it and it comes out, and you've got your pliers use. Thank you for holding that.
No, not a problem.
And there we go. So that's your twisted wire. Obviously, you can twist it much more than I do, but
you can twist it more. You can twist it less. You can add multiple different colours, multiple different strands. It's really, really simple. But it's also quite nice because you can make talks with this too, can't you?
Just make sure you really, really, really got 4 minutes. Is that right?
I don't know. What did that just say?
Yeah.
5 minutes did it say? About. Lovely jubbly. So that's how you use it. Easy peasy. £14.95 for you. Do not worry if you're slightly longer than that.
To do the bean pod leaves, I've threaded on enough peridot, but leaving about, you can leave about 1 centimetre at the end, because the weave you're going to do is going to fill up the gap.
Okay.
So don't fill the whole space. And I've used a bit of the 0.4 wire that's left from the wrap, and I'm going to do 1, 2, and maybe 3 wraps, 2 wraps around that side, 2 wraps around that side, and then I'm going to cut it off because we're not going to use this wire anymore. And make sure that's a bit neater than what I've done. Tuck it in and be neat. Well, at the moment I haven't got time, so we're not going to do that. Next thing I'm going to do is get some 0.4 wire. I'm going to use a really, really short length because again we haven't got time.
Okay. With
a long length, you need a long length to wrap all the way up the sides of the leaf. 1 either side.
Yeah.
And then wrap, and we're going to do something called, I suppose, I don't even know the name of the weave, which I should know, but it's like a little trapping in it, like a little eye.
Okay. So it traps it in there.
So wrap up either side until you reach what would be the top of your first stone.
Okay.
So it might be sort of 5 or 6, 7 or 8 wraps.
Okay.
You do that either side. Again, pretend I have, because we, again, being short of time, make sure these wraps are very, very close together, and no gaps between them, not like this. This is wall. Just
sorry, what was that?
Wall. Very bad technique.
This is wall.
That's a non-swear wordy noise. Okay.
Oh, right.
That could be a swear.
I know the answer to this already, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Are you a bit of a perfectionist, Rachel Norris? Have you ever been accused of being that?
If you see the inside of my cupboards or the inside of my car, you'd think she's not a perfectionist.
Oh, really?
You know, it's awful.
Messy.
Messy cupboards, messy inside, but the outside's got to be neat, but the inside doesn't matter.
Oh, I love that. She is human, ladies and gentlemen. It's all good.
Just don't open my cupboards or my wardrobes or anything like that. So when you get to, imagine you've got to the top of the stone.
Yeah.
Bring the wire inside the frame, pass it underneath the gap between the stone and the next stone, and inside, this is important, inside this frame, and then round over the top and wrap round.
Okay.
This is, it'll take, you might get it wrong the first time and then you'll get it right.
Okay.
This one has got to trap the wire, so that's gone underneath the wire. You can zoom in really close, you might not see it, it's so difficult, it's very, very tight. That's gone underneath the wire to trap it into place.
Yeah.
This one, we're going to need to wrap over, and because of the way I've wrapped up the wire, this one is going to be wonky because it's not going to be technically as I should, but basically you want to wrap over that wire as like an eye, almost like an eye around it. It's quite difficult to explain.
Oh, I know what you mean.
That.
It kind of encapsulates it.
Encapsulate that wire, and then as you come up, try and do the next one if you can. This is dreadfully messy. Again, you don't have any gaps like this. This is awful. I'm going to pretend I've wrapped up to the top side, and then pretend I've wrapped up to that side, and try and do the next one.
Okay.
Okay. Underneath, and this wire. Bring it up on the inside of that wire. Wrap around, and up, ready to carry on the wrapping. So you pass this wire to the opposite side of the frame. This wire I would have wrapped up to meet it, okay, but I haven't had time. And I'm going to now bring that on the inside of the frame, bring it up and over this wire to trap it this way. It's just a different type of weave. Okay, it's a new weave for me to demonstrate. Other people have probably done it, but this is the first time I've demonstrated this weave to you. And then carry on wrapping. And what this does is it traps, if you zoom in close, traps the wire in place.
So it traps them gems into that set place, doesn't it?
Yes, and it's almost, I was trying to get the effect of almost like a channel setting.
I know.
You know,
Yes.
because, and I was trying to imagine if you do that as part of a ring or another, you can incorporate this weave design in. I have done something special for a magazine with this weave in, so you'll see it in other designs coming up this year.
Lovely,
So
that's wonderful.
then, because we haven't got much time, you bind these colour lilies on with bits of wire in place, however you want them. Okay, so arrange them. Oh yeah. Oh. What you need to do is also wind up here, bind down,
so what are
make
we
another
binding
leaf.
with?
0.4 millimetres of wire.
Yeah, 0.4 mil.
Keep on adding in bits in, bind close to here, several wraps round, bind down, repeat the whole process making a leaf, and just basically make a crinkly sort of frame. It basically makes it really strong. This actually is a strong frame.
Yeah.
Because that's a crisscross. And you can make it so many different ways. You can make squares if you like, and then bind them together.
And
it's
then
just the way
bind
I
them
did it.
together,
Yes,
yeah.
as long as you've got leaves and a general space for you to bind, or an attachment frame for you to bind those things on. And then what you do is use green wire.
So it's the chartreuse wire again,
yes,
which we have still got some of. We're nearly out of the silver though, so check out.
With here I bound around a little peridot and bound another bit of wire on and made another swirl. Okay, and these three I've swirled up to make little, as long as you make them vaguely symmetrical, can you see? And again, because we haven't got time, but you imagine what you can do, go to town with it, but I've just added on another bit of extra wire to give you two, because this ended up with 3 wires at the end, and that with one. I've bound another one, added peridot in the front to hide all the messy wire. In fact, I've added 3. Oh no, rose quartz.
The rose quartz
yes,
in here,
and bound those round. I just knew I wouldn't have time to show you those. And then bound these on in order. If I put these on, at least you can see, you bind the central one on first, then place the next 2 in place, and then you sort of basically arrange the others as you would like them to be on the outside.
That top wire.
Yes, in place, and make them look nice.
Lovely.
So you just make sure. I bind them in 2 places. So if I take it off,
yeah,
you use this top section, which is a really good anchor point, and anchor it to the top. And then you bind through this area here, which has got stacks of attachment points.
So that's kind of the bottom of the the green that we've covered the calla lily with.
Yes, and there's stacks of areas you can attach this to. It's really good. That's why I tried to make a frame with lots of areas. So attach that bit first with wrapping around wire, tuck in, and then attach this bit wrapping around wire and tuck in, and then attach the other ones.
That's fab, isn't it? If I show you all of that, the back, you'll see the add-on points here. In fact, you can't because they're just hidden, but yes, Rachel can point them out.
I've wrapped around there to attach that one, and you can see I've attached at the top there.
Yeah.
Bound. You click in it, if you pull tight, it clicks in.
It clicks into that coil, doesn't it?
I haven't used bare wire because those gizmo coils, or the coils, add anchor points, so you feel it clicking into place, and it actually grips into place better. So that's why I've used that rather than bare wire.
That is a lock-in. And that is exactly how we create this exceptional piece. It is completely stunning, and you've just been showing exactly how to create this. It's a really beautiful piece.
Thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't show you all the techniques, but if it gives you the ideas to start off with, please try and make a calla lily pendant. I'd love to see people making those with their own encrusted bales, and if you can find the time to make the big central piece, please tag me so I don't miss seeing it. I'll be delighted to see what people make.
Well, I will be tagging you in mine then. Just to let you know, lovely ladies and gentlemen, that Rachel is going nowhere. You've still got that challenge, and I'm seeing bits of it already, and I'm falling in love. After this break, I have got lots more goodies. I have also got your chance to get your hands on Rachel's beautiful DVD. Stay exactly where you are. We'll be right back with you.
Jewellery Maker ships to the following countries. We offer 2 delivery services, standard and premium. So wherever you are in the world, Jewellery Maker are never far away.
You can now watch clips from Jewellery Maker on our YouTube channel. Get interactive with Jewellery Maker.
Do you have a question that you need answering?
Well, did you know you can ask to speak to an accredited jewellery professional in our call centre?
Trained by the GIA, you can ask us any gemological question and we'll do our best to help.
We don't just sell gemstones.
We know gemstones.
That's why when you buy from us, you're buying with confidence. Buy your genuine gemstones from genuine accredited jewellery professionals.
You can now keep in touch by following Jewellery Maker on Twitter. Get interactive with Jewellery Maker.
Just want to make this.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Designer Inspiration. My name is Rebecca Redican. If you've just tuned in, where have you been? You've missed Rachel Norris's designs. But don't worry, we're repeated tonight and you can get us on YouTube. And even if you miss all of that, you've got the opportunity to get your hands on the wonderful DVD. Now this is your edition 1 of the DVD, isn't it?
And
how was doing your first ever DVD?
Well, I'd done JM
JMs before,
DVDs, but I had some editorial control and also time.
Yes.
Because we have to shoot JM DVDs quite quickly, and also I'm geographically a long distance away.
Of course.
So I needed, time to shoot. In case I made mistakes, we could reshoot and all of that. So I was able to work from home, and I could spend, we spent 15 hours filming 2 DVDs, I think, and then we were able to edit down and all of these other things. So to 6 hours, for example. Wow. But this is actually two hours. But the amount of techniques we packed in there, we packed in techniques to do the dragonfly there as elements that can be made up as a brooch, the rose, a bee, a little bee, just like, I hadn't brought it out, a little bee, like so, little bee. And
I love him!
And they're all adaptations of the techniques. The rose is in there, gem encrusted flowers, so you can use gems of distinction. Those lovely teardrop gems of distinction work so well in the centre of those flowers because they have these clusters. There's fuchsias, there's all the twisted sides, and we do with the class. So I take you through the individual elements so you can actually make up them as separate pieces, or you can combine them all together to make a big impact piece, like them shown here. But a little dragonfly brooch, people do, loads of people have made the beautiful dragonfly brooch up, and as pendants as well to wear on their own.
Wonderful.
So that's a really lovely starting project because it teaches through some very easy basic weaves, some lovely shaping techniques of wire to gain your confidence up, because then when you work through my next 2 editions, if you do want to carry on and have the next 2, you can build on those techniques. I build on them to expand into other designs and other themes.
Other themes. So this really is your start off DVD. Just to bring your price in before we talk more about it, it is the beauty of nature. It is with the beautiful Rachel Norris. Get her home and in your house for a couple of hours for just £14.95 for you
This
today.
is what I started making up. I had these roses made up already, and I'm going to put the challenge bundle into this.
So this is going to be for your challenge.
Yes, like that. So when I've
and this is
that's
a technique.
Yes, technique. I can teach you how to make the different roses. Leaves. Leaves are quite awkward things to make, and I deal with making leaves in there and make it really easy and accessible for you to make a leaf up that looks fairly natural looking, and you can incorporate them into designs like this one, for example, which I made up with one of the other.
That was with our first
Yes,
designer inspiration.
Yes. And if I whip across it again, a single leaf can make a pendant. So you don't have to make these huge impact designs. You can make a single element into a feature pendant. So
isn't that beautiful?
Don't be put off by the fact these are big necklaces. I've done those to show people the very pinnacle of the design that you can reach And I've seen people make some wonderful designs with the techniques learned. They've gone on and made their own forms and shapes and things with the flowers, and it's been fabulous to see what they've done.
It's just a wonderful amount. I'll be totally honest with you though, Rachel. I'm looking at these and I'm thinking, I have to have been wire working for years to create this. But realistically, it's step by step in the DVD. And you put in time and you put in effort, and you can create even if you're really new to it.
Because they're bite-sized chunks. They're not, you don't have to make the whole piece in one go. You make the dragonfly, you put it down. The next day you can make a rose and you put it down, and you know what I mean? You're not having to think, oh, I've got to make it all up in one go. You're making it in elements.
Bite-sized pieces.
Yes, and I do show you how to assemble it, but they're elements together.
That is wonderful. It really, really is. These designs are absolutely mind-boggling, aren't they? And you can recreate them at home for just £14.95. And this is the type of DVD you'll be using over and over again. Yeah, you can learn to create these projects, but with this techniques and with the weaves you'll learn, you'll use them time and time again in your own pieces.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
A little bit of something for everyone. A project DVD, but also a masterclass with the wonderful Rachel Norris. Yours today for just £14.95. Check out those baskets for me, ladies and gentlemen. Right, I've got to shimmy on over here because I need to give you time to finish off that challenge. Because I'm coming over to you in probably about 20 minutes, lovely Rachel, to have a little look. So good luck with that one. Now, I have got some more great deals for you. It's so important you're checking out baskets today because I've got to be fast and furious. I've got lots and lots to get into this little last section. So let's get in with one of your faves. This is your absolutely stunning pearl coins. Look at that absolutely exceptional firework of light colour just cascading over these. That beautiful pearlescence is absolutely astonishing, and that is in part due to the fact that these are in the coin shapes. They're flattened off to perfection, and that means that when these are against, say, the décolletage or even in a choker style, these are going to rest absolutely beautifully. They truly, truly are. White cultured pearls, they're 9 mils, so taking Mother Nature around 9 years for her to create every individual one of these. It really is an absolutely sparkling example of a beautiful selection of gemstones, of organics, sorry. It is just such a high quality. We absolutely know that this has been huge this year. We're aware that for the coming seasons, we're looking at furs, we're looking at silks, we're looking for high sheen fabrics coming into our wardrobes, coming into our lives that can just be offset perfectly with pearls. Whether you're making for a gift, you're making for friends, you're making for yourself, or you're making to sell, get your hands on this because the price is astonishing. All yours today for just £6.95. Honestly, that is so astonishing. I've got quadruple buyers on this. I've got people getting themselves 5. Check out your baskets, lovely ladies and gentlemen. At that price, it really is a no-brainer, isn't it? Even up to the neckline. We rarely have this shape in. I can't actually think of a time I've brought you coins off the top of my head. Anyway, I just think it's beautiful, and as I said, this is a little choker design too, actually, just because of their coins.
They bind perfectly to tiaras because they're flat.
Oh,
they
you're
are
absolutely bang on right. Bind perfectly to tiaras, little headbands. Cutesy. I love that idea. £6.95. There's loads of you. Get yourself on the phone lines. This is not a drill. It's going really, really, really hardly any of these in stock right now, to be honest. Get your hands on it whilst you can. Half my stock has already gone. There's loads of you with it in baskets. I'm gonna move on because I've got too much to fit in. This is not the time to be chilling out with it in your baskets. Just checking out when you get the opportunity to, because I've got loads to fit in. If you want it, make a note of the code right now. It's time to move on. Okay, I have got for you. I say, make a note of the code right now. Quickest penmanship in the world if you manage that. Now, have I got a black ball? I have. Don't worry. I can reach. Ugh. I have got a massive findings pack for you here. Absolutely huge. Now, you've seen this findings pack quite a lot before, but generally it's as part of the kits that we bring to you or as part of bundles. It's only actually been sold by itself once before, so it's wonderful that you can get your hands on it today. You've got loads, absolute massive variety in this. It's a 115 pack. It's your opportunity to get your multi-buy-in options on this today. Now, let's take a look at just a few of my favourite pieces. I have got for you this wonderful teardrop toggle clasp that I know you will have seen before. It has been sold in kits before. It's only the second time this has been sold separately though. It is beautiful, really heavy twist detail on this. Do not forget for me, copper internally, externally the silver plating, very, very fine layer of precious, precious metal on top of this. You've then got those gorgeous starburst head pins that I absolutely love. Let me show you these. They are so beautiful. You've got the flat bottomed head pins that we've got here, but they've got that gorgeous star detail effect. They just look like a little shooting star, this wonderful effect creating. You can really notice these if you use them, say, in a macrame design to add on your designs, and you can have them twinkling upwards, or you can have them just casually at the bottom of a drop if you so wish. And then you've got the really interesting shepherd's hooks, which are really relatively new to us. Really sturdy earring posts these are. Really quite a funky design. They've got just a really eye-catching effect to them. You're going to be getting a pair of these. Everything you are just seeing on screen, 115 of them. And don't forget, you're getting organza bag. I know how much you love them. Your price today, it's just £6.95. You know that generally for our findings packs, with this, we're hitting around the £9 mark, aren't we, with the gold? It's £6.95. That was your opportunity to get your hands on a few of these. You've got absolutely loads of goodies in there. I'm sorry, Pete, I can't put them away. I've got too much to fit in, mate. £6.95. Everything you're seeing on screen included, but not limited to, a meter's worth of chain, 2 pairs of those shepherd's hooks, 20 of the crimp tubes, and loads more for you today. Hang on, say that again. Ooh, oh, it's the ribbon! Yay! I've got loads of organza ribbon for you here. It all comes in an organza bag as well, which is amazing. This is going to be fab. If you're one of those people who's really been getting into kind of the fabric work in designs recently, if you've been watching the likes of your Natalia with your leather, your Gemma Quo with the fabrics, your Maggie with, you know, saris and those types of things, then this is going to be the one for you to get your hands on. So we have got a real selection of colour. They come absolutely squidged into here. They really, really do. You've got colours including, but not limited to, your oranges, your bright red, those stainless steel, your maroons, your beautiful tans, your gold colours in here. Now of each one of these you're getting 10 metres. Now let me just give you an idea of how long that is. 10 metres worth of this, absolutely. Keeping it going. I'm unravelling it because you're getting 10 metres of each. Normally when we do organza, it's just a metre, isn't it? But 10 metres worth of every single colour. So that means I've got one colour, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 100 metres worth of organza ribbon in here for you. 100 metres worth. And you get the gold organza bag as well. Your price today, festive favourites, £6.95 for 100 metres worth of this, 10 different colours. It is a festive range of colours, but also look at it, you've got autumnal tones in here. This is actually going to be a great one for the holidays. I know a lot of the kids are on holidays now, and if they're not, they will be by the end of this week. If you've got a youngster with you who perhaps can just do a hair braid, a hair plait, plaiting 3 of these colours together, you've got yourself a really cute little friendship bracelet. But then maybe also you're entertaining teenagers, get them a friendship making book, maybe let them have a look at getting into kumihimo, and then that'll keep them entertained for hours and hours on end as well. It's £6.95 for 100 metres worth. Get your hands on it absolutely whilst you can. It's a stunning little kit you've got here today. VJ GP06 festive favourites for you. Oh my goodness. Yay, chunky chain. I love this chain. I brought this chain to you very, very recently in the silver colourway. Now's your opportunity to get it in the gold colourway. It is that side drilled, that diamond shaped, super twist, chunky chain that we've got here. This is the one that I always say, if you wanted to, you could turn it on its side and squidge the jump rings into place, and then you've got kind of the square detail effect if you so wish. And you could actually interchange that, couldn't you? You can insert pictures into here. You can bake your polymer in this. You can bake some metal clays will work well with this. You can insert this into your resin. You can work jewel enamel with this and actually use these as bails if you so wish. You don't just have to use it as a chain, but you can. What about really chunky cufflinks? Maybe just a one-off asymmetric design. It's gold-plated copper twist chain. Huge, huge sizes on these, around 24 mil on this. It's a 35 centimetre strand. Your price today on this is just £9.95. Now, Rachel, how do you find working with chain? Do you work with chain?
Yes.
If you were to work with this, would you necessarily use it as a chain? Would you go earrings?
I tend to, if I've made a really intricate piece and I've run out of time or even expense to go and make up a piece for a customer, for example, I can put that chain on. It's given me something ready-made. It's beautiful. It looks, you know, it goes to the detail of the pieces I make. You can cut them down and individually wire gemstone in between. They make great earring dangles because they're triangles. So you've got that flexibility with, if you don't use all the chain, you can make matching earrings at the end. Bracelet, you can wire gemstones in between, bit of chainmail on the outside or in between. There's stacks of things you could do actually if you really had to play with it.
Yeah, you could just keep it really, really simple as you would for a normal talk, but you could go absolutely over the top crazy with this as well, which is absolutely wonderful. I even love it, just a piece of elastic at either side, just as kind of like a bit of a festival headwear piece, which we've still got more festivals coming up. Yes, my festival soon. We've still got festivals coming up. So, you know, get these things out as gifts, because how lovely. Everyone who goes to a festival, it's nice to have an individual theme. Everyone wants to be a bit different at a festival, don't they? We all want to be a little bit unique, and how lovely to give this as a gift to maybe someone who's heading out to a festival or to a summer picnic or summer event this year. £9.95 for you today. Yes, I'm going to bring you these extra specials. You've waited and waited, and thank you so much for doing so. I have got these absolutely beautiful Biwa pearls. Get on the phones quickly. When we brought you Biwa pearls yesterday, I bought you a strand for £14.95. These are going to be at least £5 lower in price. Now, your Biwa pearls are an absolutely amazing gem. Organic, sorry. Essentially, what happened was the name itself comes from the location in Japan, the Biwa Lake, and I've actually got a picture of that lake. It looks gorgeous and scenic, doesn't it? But can you see there's actually a lot of built up area around there. Now, the Biwa pearls were so popular that they were literally taking 6 tons of pearls out every few months of this. Okay, I've got 43 in baskets. I've only got 93. Let me bring your price, and it's crazy. It's £4.95. Done. So essentially, you've got that area there that these Biwa pearls were collected from, but they were taken when they first brought them because they were so popular. 6 tons of pearls out of that one place for such a long time. And basically, sadly, due to pollution, due to over harvesting, the mollusk that lives there is essentially extinct now. So what we do to get these pearls, it's just still Biwa pearls because it's from a very similar mollusk. The mollusk we get these ones from are called triangle shell, and we get them from China. This is why you still get this gorgeous one-of-a-kind effect. I've got about 10 left, last chance to get this. Loads of people are going to miss out. I'm sorry about that. I did give you a heads up it was going to be crazy price. £4.95. It's a sellout. If you're staying on the phone, stay where you are. You've got it. £4.95 for you today. Say that to me again quick. On my left. All right, hang on. 1 second. Get aboard. Right, I've got some, this is attractive, I've got some really, really high-end jump rings for you now. Rachel, how do you feel about working with things like your 925 and your plated, very special, high-end metals?
Everything has their place, and I can experiment with the copper plated. I can use more materials, more metal, and people like the affordability of them. They're great to work with. Copper is a lovely metal actually anyway in its own right.
Absolutely.
And then yet, if you want to move up and use sterling silver, you're going to add cachet to a piece. You know, people love the fact that you've got sterling silver in there, and I like wearing sterling silver.
Yeah,
you know, it's a lovely metal.
And do you think for bridal maybe as well, 925 could be something for a special day or a boutique?
Oh my goodness, birthday presents. I mean, special commissions.
Yes.
Some people also only want to wear precious metals for allergy reasons and for other, you know, even if it's in their mind because they won't necessarily have allergies with the products, but if they only want to wear it, that's what they want.
Yeah, so. Absolutely agree with that. You have got 50 pieces in here of your 9mm jump rings, just to let you know that's the external diameter on these 9mm. Now this is your 925, which from my last research, which was the 14th, I think, silver was up from the end of March by 22.3% in price. You've then got that rose gold plating over the top. Now gold itself was up massively as well, up dramatically. Highest price it's been gold at the moment since the end of April, so a real price hike for both of these precious metals. You've got a colour that suits so many skin tones. It's a colour that's adored by lots and lots of people. Your price today is just £14.95. Imagine creating those beautiful, beautiful high-end looks with these. Now, I'm right in saying that these are closed jump rings, so that means that they are a solid circle, which actually means if you wanted to, you could create a beautiful little ring from this and just use your 925 on the outside. Maybe, don't forget, it's 925, so you can actually, you know, use things like polymer with this if you so wish, or you could just even set, if you got a cap of the right size, you'd be able to just encase that, wouldn't you, with a bit of wire wrapping, easy peasy. It is the closed jump ring, so if you did want to use them as a closed piece to secure, say, clasps on, then you absolutely could. But if you do want to use them to create a really high-end 925 chainmail piece, get your hands on a few of these, and you can just snip them. Especially if you've got a saw cut, you could just snip them and then you'll be just able to use them for your chainmail pieces, really high end. £14.95, get them whilst you can. DCGP 50 for you today. Just pop that. Now, let's have a little look what I forgot here. Ooh, quite a big bundle. Oh, this again has got a real bridal-like feel to it. We've got some shell drops, which actually, did you get the Biwa pearls? Because if you did, these are going to go exceptionally with this kit. You're going to be getting cool shawls. Oh, how beautiful. These are your white shell in the flat drops, 13x9mm on these ones. You could just see how beautifully they undulate between each other. And because they are your shell as well, you'll be able to see it's a really, really decent sized drill hole in these. I would suggest you could even get a 0.6 if not more easily through there. In fact, yeah, easy peasy through there, which is great. Sometimes you can't always do that with drops, can you? But with these you should be able to get maybe even a 0.8. Ooh. You've also got, sticking on that shell theme, these huge absolute whoppers. These are your massive shell pearl rounds. 12mm we have on these. Now, aren't those just a match made in heaven there? They really are, aren't they? It's got a gorgeous, really traditional pale white colouring to it, but it's got that impactful, bold strength with the size and also with the actual piece itself. If you perhaps want that pearl effect, but maybe you want a harder wearing piece, and this is going to be the one for you. With pearls, you have to be really, really careful about things such as your perfumes, or if you get too hot and sticky and sweaty in the sun. Pearls are porous and they can take that in. Shell pearl, you're not going to have that difference. So it's a similar look, it's a similar effect, but it is much, much more sturdy than an actual natural pearl. Wow, look at these! Blimey, Charlie! These are really amazing pieces of your white agate. 150 carats worth. Let me just show you this strand. Never seen anything like it. The graduation is intense. It's a massive length. Every single one of them completely and absolutely unique. I can't believe it. I've never seen anything like this. It's wonderful, isn't it?
It's quite exciting, isn't it, to sort of use something like that?
Totally, it really is. If you want to add a little bit of organic, a little bit of nature to your pieces, you've got it here, haven't you? 150 carats worth, and it's from 6x3 to 11x13, so a big difference in the sizes here. And then lastly, but by no means leastly, you've got your gorgeous, gorgeous cream moonstone. Wow. Schiller. Sometimes with moonstone you can get really, really high impactful schiller. Under these lights it's a bit hard to find, but get it home to see if you can get yourself more than I can under these lights at this moment in time. 70 carats worth on these irregular plain drops. It's from 8x4 to 10x5 on a 30 centimetre strand. KFG C83 is the code on this. Oh, I'm peckish now, especially with these nuggets. Your price today should be £17.80. It's not though. I'm taking it under 15. Your price today is just a tiny, minuscule £11.95 for 4 strands, for 4 really workable, usable strands. Even if you're going to be using these in one piece, you absolutely can, because you've got drops with the shell, you've got that beautiful plain but slightly bolder effect with the moonstone, you've got the organic boho chic with the nuggets, you've got those sturdy, big, bold, perfect rounds with the shell. You've got absolutely everything you're going to be wanting on here. You really, really have, for £11.95 today. KFG C83. KFG C £11.95 for you today. Moving on. Okay, folks, I can't remember where that went. I'm just running. Okay, let's get meshy. Mesh. Let's stop meshing around here, shall we? This is not the opportunity. This is my wire mesh. You're gonna have to be quick, because this is one of the first times I think ever I have brought to you a trio, all the same size, all the same length, all the same gauge, and all the same colour. So if you want to create a piece that's going to be really impactful, now's your opportunity. Your bronze colour with this beautiful, beautiful mesh. Oh my goodness, you guys love it out there. I have got 10mm is the knit on this, and it's 1 metre of each. I'll get your pricing, and then I'm going to talk to Rachel about this, because I'm pretty sure it's something Rachel, well, I know she does. She knows quite a lot about, to say the least. Your trio today should be £8.85. It's not staying there. I'm dropping it like it's mesh. Your price today, £6.95 for 3 metres worth of mesh. This is workable, this is usable, this is so, so much of a loved product. Talk to us about this gorgeous product, lovely, lovely Rachel.
Well, I can't beat Gemma Crow. With what she makes. She makes exquisite pieces of mesh, but what I have done is drawn it through a draw plate and made a mesh thread, and I have kumahemoed with it, and I actually made it up in silver, and I was going to make one up in copper for today, and I just ran out of time. Yeah. But you can kumahimo with it.
Wow.
And it makes a beautiful metallic braid. Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, I love that idea.
Yeah, and that's what I've done with it. And I've sold the piece. You see, I was going to bring.
Yeah.
It's sold, so I can't bring it to you.
Well, that's good for you, though.
The lady loves it actually. And it was a sea turtle necklace with the Kumihimo mesh braid.
That is absolutely wonderful. Realistically, it is one of our most popular of all of the beautiful, beautiful pieces that we have. What I will say is, this is the one that won the design last year. Gemma won with design of the year. In fact, you had it the year before. You wore the crown the year before, didn't you? This year it was Gemma Crowell with her design using this mesh. It was a beautiful bridal bouquet piece. £6.95 for this mesh trio. It's one of our most popular sellers. It's great because even if you mess up, even if you go wrong, you can just pull it and it will go bounce back to its form, really, won't it?
But also, it really did weave really well. I loved it. And you could macrame with it as well. Use it to make it into a cord and macrame with it.
Wow!
It's a really beautiful effect because you're macraming with wire mesh. You could do a load of Viking knit, and it might not be quite as tight, but you could spend a long time making the Viking knit, which is good in itself. Or you can just draw that out on the draw plate and use that instead, and make a macrame piece with it, which is what I've done as well.
I love that idea. Oh my gosh, Rachel, you've got to show me some of these pieces, love. £6.95. Loads of you coming in for this. Get it whilst you can. Now, is it the spool thing, did you say? Oh yeah, I've got you. Spool tamer. Now, I bet there's points in your life where you wish you'd have had some of these. You're getting your spool tamer. You get, if I'm right in saying 3, is that right? 2 or 3? You get 3 within this pack of a spool tamer. And you're gonna need it because you're getting with it 100 meters of 0.4. Now, what am I meaning when I say a spool tamer? Well, essentially, you know that moment where you, oh actually these are twisted together quite nicely for me and I can't untwist them. But I'm going to show you anyway. Right, let me untwangle this. You know that moment where you're just about to start something off and you're getting your weaving wire out and you can't work off the spool because you've got to add on gemstones. You know the bit I mean, don't you? When you're just unweaving it. And then what happens is you take off the bit you want. That's great. So I'm working with that bit. And then that happens. And then you pick it up and oh my, and literally I'm going to have to do this really gently because honestly, there's no controlling this now at all. And you think, oh, what I'll do is I'll just pull that bit, but then it doesn't, how does it not go back? I don't know. It's one of those freaky wire things. Look, I'm pulling on this and you'd think, oh, you just pull and then it, no, it's not what happens. That happens, you get a big tangly mess, it's a nightmare. Well, you're not going to be having that issue with your spool tamer because essentially what happens is it's kind of a waistband, as it were, that you put along and across your spool, and then there's a little eye hole where you can just take out the side. Now that's great because it means you're less likely for your spool to unravel, but also it means that you are able to keep the tension really, really nice. Now can I open this? I'm going to because I want to show you one. You've got 3 here, so let me show you. So it is your elasticated bands. Elasticated band, so it fits around any spool, even the large ones. You can tighten it, you can loosen it, and then you see the eye hole here, that's where you will put your tail through on your spool. You'll put your tail through there, and it will just mean that everything's kept nice and taut and into place. You've got 3 of these in the pack today. 3 spool tamers with 100 meters of 0.4 in gorgeous beauty. Your price should be £17.90. Of course, you've got spool tamers, which you haven't had on that much, and you have 100 meters of 0.4. What are your favorite wires? Not staying there. You're going to love it. The wire alone, by the way, is £14.95, just so you know. Just this wire is £14.95. Remember that. £9.95 for the whole kit and caboodle, the whole lot. It's Sunday, we're not messing around today. Let's get on the phones, let's get this in our baskets, let's check those out. You have got so much here. It's going to save you so much time, it's save you so much effort, it's going to save you so much energy. With 0.4 or 0.25, you've been at that time, I've been at that time, and literally sometimes, let's face it, sometimes when you've got this much and it all spools out, Sometimes, I'm sure we've all done it, I hate to admit I've done it as well, I've got so frustrated, I've just cut it. And I've essentially just cut all of this off, all of it, because I've just got so frustrated. I've just gone, right, that's it. It's not worth it, just cut it. You're less likely to have that issue at all with this, and it's going to keep this tension just perfectly for you. £9.95. WGC21, that's your code, your spool tamer and your fuchsia wire. How do you feel about the fuchsia colour of wire? 'Cause we've not had any on yet today.
Again, like everything, it's a very vibrant colour, and I tend to tone it back with, I'd put that with copper, or because that's real Bollywood colours. Yeah, you're right. And then twist it up with antique bronze or silver. It twists up really nicely with. So what I do is bring it back with. I've done also, but equally so, what you're wearing, the colour, it goes so well with that colour. So I've done a little fish in the past actually with pink gems, bright fuchsia pink gemstones, fuchsia pink wire, and the turquoise wire has worked really well with it.
Love that. We're coming over to you in a minute, which is perfect because you've literally just finished. I love that. £9.95. Get your hands in it whilst you can. Now I'm just heading back over to the wonderful Rachel, and we're going to have a little look at her challenge that we set her. Now we gave you 3 strands, didn't
I've got
we?
To say,
today?
I'm going to say very quickly.
Yeah, go on.
I would have put fewer Amazonite on. What I've done is over threaded that, so put too many on, so that wouldn't have been quite as wide on the side. So
I actually quite like that though.
It's okay.
I really love
then.
that. I really do. Now we use 3 strands on this. We're about to put them up separately for you, so keep your eyes peeled. But just as a recap, you had the Amazonite, which had a really nice graduation.
I love it. I love the colours. It's beautiful. It's got all the shades of Amazonite I love, and so the fact it just, I mean, it's Amazonite pearls, perfect combination. Absolutely beautiful,
stunning.
And what I've done is wired in a pearl in the middle. Wired 2 of the roses that you can make up from the DVD onto a frame at the back. And the frame is just a V frame with just any old weave, but anything to lock it together. Wire those roses on, pop the pearl in. These gemstones go beautifully with this type of silver floral design. Oops, bent it around. And then beaded up, and again I would have spent a bit more time getting this tighter, but you can use gizmo coils on the end of the beading wire thread.
Yeah, beading thread.
And look, I can see some opalescent colours through on here. What a beautiful combination of stones.
Isn't that opal stunning? Do you love, how's the opal to work with? Because it is obviously a very high-end strand. Could you strand it all right?
Yes, it all went on the beading thread very well. In fact, these you can get a 1mm wire through, but the pearls and these you will and the opal you do need the beading thread or a 4mm.
Or a 4mm.
Yeah. And so I chose to use weeding thread. Make sure this is a bit tighter here if you're pulling these up, so there's no gaps between the beading thread. I just haven't worked with beading thread for such a long time. Was that a practice?
Oh, you've managed to nail it still, Rachel. To let you know, at the moment on your screen is the Ethiopian opal, which is £34.95, and that's the ones that we've interspersed between these pearls. Just to let you know though, that the pearls have sold out. We have still got those Ethiopian opals though, and if you want to get your hands on the Amazonite, that's at the bottom of your screen. That entire strand with that massive graduation from 6mm to 14mm was just £6.95. It's at the bottom of your screen now. That graduation, you've really worked to its best, haven't you?
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, it's there on the strand for you, so you can work with it very easily.
So lovely. Rachel, I've had so much fun.
It's lovely working with you
It's
today.
been
You've been so good with me, and thank you.
Bless you. Your designs are just inspirational. They really, really are. When are you next on with us?
I think it's Thursday the 28th of August.
Thursday the 28th of August. We will keep our eyes peeled. Genuinely, thank you so much. Have an absolutely lovely evening with The Late Show. I will be back with you on Wednesday. I will see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.
Hi jewellery makers, if you're a Freeview viewer, you can now continue to watch the show live by switching over to channel 64. Our brand new 24-hour channel is available to the majority of homes in the UK.